back a day. Husband's a CPA. Her dreams went out the door when she turned 24. Only been with one man. What happened to her plan? She was gonna be an actress. She was gonna be a star. She was gonna shake her ass on the hood of Whitesnake's car. Her yellow SUV is now the enemy. Looks at her average life and nothing has been alright since Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, way before Nirvana. There was U2 and Blondie, and music still on MTV. Her two kids in high school, they tell her that she's uncool, 'cause she's still preoccupied with 1985. She's seen all the classics, she knows every line. Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, even St. Elmo's Fire. She rocked out to Wham, not a big Limp Bizkit fan. Thought she'd get a hand on a member of Duran Duran. Where's the mini skirt made of snake skin? And who's the other guy that's singing in Van Halen? When did reality become TV? Whatever happened to sitcoms, game shows on the radio? Springsteen, Madonna, way before Nirvana. There was U2 and Blondie, and music still on MTV. Her two kids in high school, they tell her that she's uncool, 'cause she's still preoccupied with 1985. She hates time, make it stop. When did Motley Crue become classic rock? And when did Ozzy become an actor? Please make this stop, 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 and bring back Springsteen, Madonna, way before Nirvana. There was U2 and Blondie, and music still on MTV. Her two kids in high school, they tell her that she's uncool, 'cause she's still preoccupied. 1985. Springsteen, Madonna, way before Nirvana. There was U2 and Blondie, and music still on MTV. Her two kids in high school, they tell her that she's uncool, 'cause she's still preoccupied with 19.
So watching you. Don't you run from me. Don't you hide yourself from me, from you are. From the first time that I saw you, girl, you made me feel so fine. You got me, I want you, girl, be by my side. Don't you run from me. Don't you hide yourself from me, from you are. From the first time that I saw you, girl, you made me feel so fine. You got me, I want you, girl, be by my side. Don't you run from me. From the first time that I saw you, girl, you made me feel so fine. You got me, I want you, girl, be by my side. Don't you run from me. Don't you hide
hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come to you, and I wanna feel it too. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a golden sea, you don't need no memory, just a place to call your own as we drift into the cold. On an island in the sun, we'll be praying and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. We'll run away together, we'll spend some time forever, we'll never feel that anymore. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. We'll run away together, we'll spend some time forever, we'll never feel that anymore. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Chances last a finite time in the warm July night time. Every care that keeps you from your feet is a care that carries you to feet. Ladder, ladder, kryptonite with a pocket full of kryptonite. Every care that keeps you in your seat is a care that carries you to feet. Sing that song you sang long ago. A heartbeat, so sure and slow. Hold just a finite time in the warm July nighttime. Every care that keeps you from your feet is a care that carries your defeat. Chances last a finite time, and you're running out of time.
The song is not anti-American, it's anti-war. At the sound of the falling rain, running down like an Armageddon flame. The same, the ones who die without a name. Every time telling out of care, know him called faith and misery. The greed, the hunger, are so elected. Like nature dreaming different from the horizon. This is the timing of the rest of our lives. One holiday. Every time running out of time, another protester has crossed the line. We find the money's on the other side. Brothers and sisters, never again and never amen. There's a fire up around a score of men. Again, a plastic bag on a monument. But nature dreaming different from the horizon. This is the timing of the rest of our lives. On holiday. The representative of California now has the floor. See clouds as the president gets them. Bombs away, here's your punishment. Pulverizing Eiffel Towers, a criticize your government. Bang, bang goes a broken glass man. Call the bags and don't agree. Trials by fire, setting fires. There's not a way that's not for me. Just guys, because
Let's get up and leave this town. I just wanna go right now. Once we get out of here, no one will notice that we disappeared. So what do you say we go right now? Get away from everyone that hangs around. They seem so insincere. So why don't we just leave them here and move on? Move on. We'll find some new place nice, some other city or the countryside. We'll make new friends in time. We'll pack up and say goodbye and move on. Move on. Move on. It's been 6 long years, 6 years of hanging about without a care. It don't matter where we go, anywhere is better. I know. So move on. Move on. Move on. Move on. Come on, let's get away. So far away. Come on, let's run away, run away. Run away today. Oh, move on. Move
Hello everybody, welcome along. There's the link in the chat if anybody wants to come on. Hello, Avery.
Hello, darling.
What's going on?
Nothing. You want to leave you by yourself?
Oh, that's okay. I wasn't
Although
by
I know
myself.
you can handle it.
American girl, you have a good day at work. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for dropping by. You still haven't fixed your crappy mic, Avery.
It's fixed. It should be good.
Ah, okay.
Hang on, what's up with it now? It's, echo cancellation's on. Adjust mic is on. Is it because I'm not talking close enough to it? It should be clear. I don't want to shout on here, man.
No, that's all right. That's fine. I had a wonderful day, Avery. Had a wonderful day. Went for a drive up. Yes, we went for a birthday lunch at up in the mountains where there's a nice little hotel and a good environment and all that kind of thing, you know.
Oh, nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, well, the trouble is that wasn't open. They've got 2 restaurants on the property. The second restaurant was the one their main one, which is its main thing is a restaurant. The other one is like a bar type restaurant, big open fire, lovely environment, and a nice drive up there and back.
Oh, nice.
So then we went to some waterfalls, and yeah, it was a good day. Good day.
The Ice Cube song. It was a good day.
Um,
I mean, you obviously know I haven't done a whole lot. It's only 1 o'clock for me near enough.
I suppose round trip. Probably about 160 kilometres, something like that.
Not bad.
But you're not driving fast because it's mountain roads.
Right. You're literally just cruising at that point. Like,
Yeah, cruising along, rubbernecking. You got to keep your wits about you because
have your music on?
Other traffic and all that kind of stuff. But you know, driving through, you know, soaring, you know, big trees and tree ferns and you know, and the little creek off to the side and
oh yeah.
And as you're coming up over the mountain, well, not quite right at the top of the mountain, but you know, as you're coming around, you know, one river's running one way, and then the next lot of creeks and rivers are running the other way, and all those kind of things. You know, I like it. I find it very relaxing.
Do you have your music on still, or are you just driving and listen to the wind noise?
Nah, well, I could have put some music on, but I just like to drive along and just watch what's going on, you know.
I always drive around with this.
G'day, Rabbit.
Subwoofers
Welcome.
kicking out.
You know, it's.
So I don't drive that much no more.
Well, it's one of those things that it's relaxing.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
we got someone in the background. I think
There
that's
we
a porn bomber parent.
welcome, Steve.
Hey.
Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Don't show me your willy, parent.
Nah, I can't do that.
I know I'd be highly disappointed.
You would, yeah.
Wrinkly balls.
They had a comedian on. Have you heard of the? There's 2 American comedians. One's a South Korean called Bobby Lee. Have you ever seen him?
I think I have actually.
No, I haven't.
Bobby Lee is a South Korean, but American-based, ridiculously funny, and he shares the panel with the redhead American guy. Can't remember his name, and they have a show, a really popular podcast show, whatever, called Bad Friends. It's the good friends, they're bad friends.
I think I've seen that.
They take the piss out of each other all the time and whatever. And
Hey, Gaza.
they
What's up, brother?
Wow, look, Gazzy, excellent. And look, Christ, I do have sympathy for everybody that listens to me because my stories do go on too long. However, they had a comedian on this show, Bad Friends, and he started saying, "Well, look, I never realised how good masturbation was until I had genital warts." And he said, my dick. And he said, look, I'll be honest, it was only 5.5 inches long, but it's 6 inches with the warts." And
Lovely.
the two guys running the show were fine with it. It was just, look, it's your sort of comedy, Avery.
Yeah, I'd probably
You'd love it.
myself, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen a couple of things on YouTube, but I
Oh,
haven't heard that one.
Bobby Lee has been on drug. He's a friend of Joe Rogan. He's a stand-up comedian. Just takes the piss, and he's just so funny. It's really good, and the show together is great. Right. I'm going to shut up. I've had 3 beers already. Welcome, Gaza. This is
Only
about the
3?
first time.
Come on, you're letting the team down, brother.
I only started when I saw you opened your stream up.
You had to drink the beer just to listen to that disco, did you?
Well, I'll be honest. I was trying to turn the computer on, and I went, "Oh yeah, that's about time," and whatever. And I thought, "Oh, Avery's got one going. That's all right."
No. Because you usually start about 12. So I sort of finished about 10 past, didn't I? So I wasn't sure where you were. So.
Well, in honesty, Avery, a good feed, a couple of beers.
Yep.
When I got home, I'd put the feed up, was watching television, and fell asleep. That's
Nice.
the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter.
I don't blame you, though.
Oh, like I say, bloody
This is
brilliant.
what old people do, you know that. So it's all right. You can slap me in the head if you want.
No, that's all right. You know, there was plenty of real life stuff to do, but it just took a day out. What the hell?
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, Spoon's seen Bobby Lee. Oh, Spoon, I've seen far worse than that. He
Oh,
was
God.
abused. He was abused as a child by a guy with Down syndrome.
So are you trying to tell me the guy's mentally deranged? And he's got issues?
No, Bobby Lee, look,
Because if he is, I like him already.
he's Avery, you would absolutely adore this.
Yeah,
guy.
well,
He is
I'll
so
start watching
funny.
him, man.
He's so honest. And the two of them together with the redhead guy, which I can't remember his
He
name.
put
he's
his
not-
finger in my bum.
They are so funny. I absolutely love, and they've made hundreds of shorts. So if you put Bobby Lee on,
That's probably what I've seen.
you're
Yeah, probably a short.
you're
Yeah,
100. But they do whole podcasts.
right.
Bobby Lee had a really sexy girlfriend who had a daughter, and the daughter joined them on their show as sort of youth opportunities work.
I thought you were going to say like in bed for a minute there.
No.
Yeah.
She's like a real typical teenager who doesn't like them and sort of doesn't want to get up in the morning, doesn't want to come to work. Probably worth an absolute fortune because of being part of the Bobby Lee and hold on, I'm gonna have to Google to find this guy's name because he's just as funny. Bobby Lee.
Just give me 10 minutes to Google this.
So, it's called Bad Friends. Bad Friends.
fair
But,
enough. Okay.
this is why I'm lousy at the quiz. It takes me a while to type stuff.
It takes you a while to use the Google and cheat, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, you should use talk to text.
Does it work? That sounds fuck shit bollocks.
Okay. The
Sorry,
guy
I'm
with
stupid.
him on Bad Friends is called Andrew Santino. Andrew Santino.
Oh, right, okay.
Never heard of him before, but he is great. He's got a super sense of humor, super dry, really good.
If I had to pick one, my favorite comedian would be Bill Burr.
Oh, love him.
He's
Yeah,
a savage motherfucker.
yeah.
I used to like Dave Allen in the day.
Mm.
What day was that? 1965.
He'd sit, walk up, sit down on the stage with a glass of whiskey and just start, chatting away and whatever. He was so dry, but it was funny.
Right. Totally sarcastic kind of comedy. I've got it.
The one that I can't stand is that, what's his name, Noble. No, Russell Noble.
Oh, Russell Brand, you mean?
Oh, he's okay.
Russell. Yeah, he used to be married to one of the singers or somebody thing, and I thought to myself, by the geez, she must have had a pretty low, esteem for herself.
There's two. There's Russ Noble, which is a guy that comes from Newcastle.
He's got
really funny, super. And
long hair.
Yeah, Russell Brand.
Russell Brand looks like Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that must be
Yeah.
Russell Brand that I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Well,
That
no,
is.
yeah,
Russell
whatever.
Brand. He gets his willy out as well. That's weird,
Yeah, he is weird, but
man.
he does pretty good podcasts. He's quite good at standing up to politicians and that sort of thing.
He's smart. He's smart as fuck.
Yeah.
Dude. But he was
Yeah.
a massive druggie, and he always said, "I'll always be an addict." But he's clean now, obviously.
Yeah.
That's one thing he said.
Johnny, look, I always appreciate but he is better than you think he is. I hated the guy when I first saw him.
He's
Watching
really
doing
clever. That's what you can't
interviews
take away
with
from him.
politicians and whatever,
Yeah.
or being on a panel show. He is really quick. He's really intelligent,
Yep.
and he's also done his research. Very clever guy.
Fast as fuck, boy.
G'day, Andy. How you doing? Welcome.
Hey, we got a Macadoodles. We got
There's
Macadoodle
Mac.
in the house.
What are you guys talking about me?
Yeah.
Of course.
I was waiting
I don't know
for you,
about the
man.
drug addict part.
I was crying a little bit. What up, Andy? How you doing, Andy?
Andy,
Andy,
Yeah,
It's
Andy
Andy
Bangkok.
Francis. Andy BK. Andy Bangkok Chit Chat. Or not Chit Chat anymore.
Handy Andy.
Andy out of
Andy Bradley.
Oh, I
out
see.
of-
Brandy Andy.
I see it.
out of Thailand. We can't say royalty, but we would say the higher echelon.
The Kuza.
No, that's Japanese.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Avery, it was funny you talking about that when that bloke said, I'm an addict, and it reminded me one time a mate of mine had problems with alcohol, and yes, I took him along to an AA meeting, and they, doing all this shit, and people were standing up and saying, it's been 300 and so many days, and they'd all clap and go, that's really, really good, and I'd like to, thank the other person, the support and all the rest. And they put the hat around, and I said to this bloke, what's this for? He said, just the collection for the biscuits and stuff like that. And I said, go and get stuff. I've only got $10 on me. That's for the stubbies on the way home.
Oh, God.
And I said, anyhow, I only bought me matey because he's a drunk.
Mate, the one I used to go to, I used to leave, they used to walk out of there and go straight to the fucking pub. Excuse me, I've been smoking a little bit. I'm fine,
But
thanks,
not-
Andy. How are you, man?
No, not putting shit on any of those organisations because I think they do help people, and that's a good thing.
My
Oh, I
father's
think
been
it's so
AA
miserable.
for
What a
55
freak.
years. He's been a member. Yep.
Jeez, that's
gives
well
me-
good on him.
He gives
wanna be-
meetings. He talks to people, helps other people out and stuff. That's his group of people.
That's good.
It's like that's his
Yeah.
church.
I
I mean, I just want to go on. I just want to quickly say, I used to go to a few of them, right? And I'd go in there, and I'm quite a chubby bloke, even when I'm not, right? And you'd hear all these sob stories, and you're just like, now I know a fucking drink. That's all you would think of. It's not good.
I know. You go there and you hear some of this stuff, and it's like you get out of there. It's like, damn it! I thought it was supposed to be AA, and next thing you know, I want to drink because they keep talking about it.
yeah.
Right.
Me, I just quit on my own. It's like fuck this shit.
Well,
It's for some people.
It was kind of like if you want to learn about giving up smoking, I'm the man to talk to. I've given up that many times. It's not funny.
I give up every week.
But it reminded me when smoking laws came in. A woman in the supermarket, she was walking around having a smoke, and the manager walked up to her and said, "Excuse me, madam, we have a non-smoking policy here." And she says, "I'm not offering you a cigarette." And he says, "No, but you can't smoke in the store." And she says, "Do you know what? When you stop selling them, I'll stop smoking them."
Yeah. Yeah, all here in Chicago, Illinois, like New York and LA. Yeah, there no smoking in any place, no restaurants or any facility. So, me and my wife went out to Arizona. On the way back, we stopped in what was it, Kansas City, and we stopped at a Denny's, and we went in there and we sat in this one section. I noticed there was ashtrays on some of these tables. So my wife, when we get to a restaurant, before the food gets there, she likes to go out and have a cigarette. So I'm sitting there, and the lady comes up, and it's like, "Oh, where did she go?" I go, "She went out and have a cigarette." "You know you can smoke in here." "Oh, really?" "Oh." So I had a cigarette lit, had a coffee in my hand, had an ashtray, and the wife comes in. "Hey, you can't smoke in here." I go, I know. I like to live dangerously. I want to get kicked out, you know?
You fucking rebel.
Yeah.
Like really with restrictions on things, the government likes to restrict things and dictate and all the rest of it. If they were fair dinkum about it, they'd ban it. They'd say, right, as from tomorrow, no more cigarettes will be sold, no more alcohol will be sold. But they make too much money out of it to do it. But they just like to, pick on the people that are the end user of the product, and then charge them double for their choices.
Shit.
Hell
I remember back in the 70s was 50 cents a pack. Then went to $1.50, $2. Now it's fucking cities $15.
Fucking tax.
I think
Inflation.
here for a packet of 20 cigarettes, you'd be around 30 Australian dollars.
Holy
Crazy,
fuck.
man.
A lot of people quit back then, didn't they?
Yeah. That's why I stick to just buying a pack of tobacco. I try and make it last.
A packet of tobacco here you just about need a bank loan, Avery.
Oh, for me it's 20. I think it's £21, but I can make that last over a week. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's like 3 cartons.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I used to be able to get Q brand, right? Which was
Yeah, but you're smoking 3 cartons in a week.
That's
You,
how
you
cheap
go
it was.
you go to you go to Thailand, and low prices have risen, but you buy a packet of cigarettes and you go, what a joke. But you're not allowed to bring any home. You're only allowed to bring one packet home with you.
No.
Yep, one packet.
Lame, really, if you take them for your own use.
But alcohol's a bit different. You can bring a couple of litres of alcohol home with you.
That's a good idea. Bring a couple of liters and then no cigarettes to smoke. Well, yeah.
You know, but
Well, you're
if
drinking
they
your
were
booze.
if they were serious about it, they'd say, well, you know, looking at domestic violence and all of those kind of things, the alcohol is a key issue. You know, you don't have one cigarette and then smack somebody around the head and body with the wet end of a cigarette paper, do you?
No. I try to cut it down. This is why I wouldn't open the panel, because I knew I'd start smoking the minute I start talking to people. So I played music for a couple hours. Didn't have a cigarette. Woo!
There's nothing wrong with that.
Positive win there. The other night I done that, and I wore a plastic helmet so I couldn't put a cigarette in my mouth. Just to keep me not smoking very much.
Well, Avery, like I say, I don't smoke inside the house. I used to, but I don't anymore. I don't smoke inside the house. I go outside and I've got my little spot, and it's whatever the environment's doing, although you don't get wet if it's raining, but if it's cold, it's cold. And realistically, smoke half a cigarette, put it out, you know, come back into a stream or whatever, and then, you know, half an hour or so later, go back out and smoke the other half. So I cut my smoking in half, realistically.
Yeah.
But not only that, the cigarettes aren't just sitting there within arm's reach, because it becomes that becomes habit forming as well.
Yep. Too easy to grab. I used to tape mine up and put water in them and shit like that. Dumb
Yeah,
shit.
my worst habit that I have is breathing in air. I have to have it, you know. I wake up, I take a nice breath, like, you know, I'm always breathing.
No, I need a cigarette.
Yeah.
Well, I think the
morning coffee
world's,
or-
if we look at the world and the way food's changed and all of that kind of thing, obesity is a bigger problem nowadays than anything. And I'm not necessarily.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not blaming the people, because everybody's got to eat.
Nope, they fuck with their food. They're
That's
putting
right.
crap in it.
The fast food restaurants and the mass-produced stuff contains a percentage of what's supposed to be there,
Which is a habit forming, because then you get used to eating out. You don't want to eat in the house. You're like, oh, I'd rather have a burger.
Shit, and it's addictive.
I mean, like the town of Orland, right? LaGrange Road, on both sides from 143rd all the way to like 167th. Just loaded with fast food places, restaurants, you name it. They have it.
Yeah.
It's just packed with damn restaurants. I mean, packed. I've never seen so much restaurants in my whole freaking life in one place.
That's it, Rabbit. That's why I have a lot of problems going to restaurants and things like that, because I have an expectation.
Yep.
And it usually falls below my expectation. And then I get angry, because I don't mind spending good money for good food and all of that kind of thing. But I can cook better than most of the pricks in the bloody that call themselves cooks or whatever in the restaurants.
I agree.
G'day, Simon. How you doing?
Afternoon, Beach. How come it's raining there? Here is shit here, man. It's sunny as fuck.
Well, don't
you're
forget he's halfway across the country, Avery.
It's not that far away.
But yeah, you look. That's the other thing. You look at a TV advertisement of this wonderful new burger. Here it's Burger King have bought out, or can't fucking cook, and and McDonald's and all these wonderful pictures, and you go and order it, and you say, "Geez, that looks nice." And you open it up and you look, it's it's thrown together like no one cares. It's quarter of the size of what the projection of it is on television. You go, yeah, and I paid good money with that. Yeah, I can always remember.
Pictures always look so good, don't they?
I can always remember in the Philippines because most of the burger chains and stuff like that, they always, oh, would you like fries with that? Yeah, well, over in the Philippines they were saying, oh, would you like rice with that? So, no, I don't want the rice with that. I want the fries. DWP, welcome, mate. Welcome.
So they're fresh. They have to cook them fresh. I do like takeout fries. I like McDonald's fries the best. If you, I'm just talking in general. If you like a bit of, you fancy a friggin' Burger King or McDonald's. I like the Whoppers from Burger King and the fries from McDonald's. A bit tricky to get hold of both.
What about KFC fries?
Oh, KFC's the worst, man. That chicken sucks.
No, I just mean their fries. Just mean their chips.
McDonald's fries are better for some reason.
McDonald's fries are the worst. Around here at least. As soon as they get cold just a little bit, they don't taste right. Then if they're really cold, it's like you chewing on a piece of cardboard. You got to get those things hot and fresh.
Yeah, that's why you say no salt, and they have to cook them for you.
Yeah, but back in the day, fries taste okay even when they cool down a little bit and stuff. They still were soft and everything, but now it's just, they're terrible. What they cook them in that oil, whatever, is not good for a human body. And we got a lot of fat bodies here in Chicago, believe me.
Yeah.
Well, in the old days, they used to deep fry stuff.
Yep.
And they'd, sit it up, it'd drip, the whole deal. Now, well, the fries, they still deep fry, but the chicken and different things like that, it's like a deep fry, a pressure cooker, so it all happens from frozen to, they're out on the serving stand in quarter of the time. But with the pressure cooking, everything's, the fat is impregnated into it. It's not sealing and cooking.
You get deep fried candy bars, deep fried ice cream, deep fried anything nowadays.
That was when I had a fish and chip shop. That was one of our big things. We used to do deep fried Mars bars and deep fried cherry ripes, which were, I don't know if you have a cherry ripe in your country. It's a chocolate covered, but it's cherry. It's made out of cherry and
salty
coconut.
And sugary, just like the chocolate covered pretzels.
No, it's not salty. It's sugar, obviously. But they were a big seller. You had to think about how you were going to do the job. And it was kind of funny. People that didn't work out what was going on, and the same with the deep fried ice cream. Everything's in the preparation and how it's all put together. It looks easy, but it's many have failed. Put it that way, and it's kind of funny because they stuff up their oil, and that costs them a good amount of money to replace it. But even the oils now. I think the oil I used to use is $70 for 20 litres, and you can buy this other crap, which is about $30. So everybody buys the $30 oil.
Which is the crap.
Yeah, which I don't. I don't buy the $30 oil because I stay with tried and true,
Right. That's how they do it. They put everything up, and people got to cut back to stay afloat in business, and not knowing that they're buying the cheap shit, which is killing people, making them fat and obese, and all these problems. That's what McDonald's did.
Well,
Johnny, can I just ask you a question? Since you cook chips, why do both KFC chips, French fries, whatever you want to call them, And McDonald's, why are they so horrible?
Because he's that cheap oil.
Well,
Depends
it's
where
to
you're
do
at.
with it. It's to do with the oil. It's to do with the. It's a lot of it's to do with supply chain. But they'll cook a batch of chips and they'll just sit there, and then they'll actually get, as the light will, they go soggy. They go soggy in that crap.
Yeah. I have heard, I might be remembering this wrongly, but I think McDonald's use a particularly long potato. It's sort of like the sort of potatoes we get in Thailand. Actually, it's long, so they have long French fries. So they sort of fan out of that little red and white cardboard box. That would be great if they were sort of crispy and.
Sorry.
A potato, unless it's kept right. Now I used to mainly use Sebago potato or Collie which is
Right.
grown around here. All the hills on either side of this valley are potatoes, and the soil makes a difference too. But
Yep.
the potatoes, if they're kept right. Now, one of the people out of Thorpedale, which is just up in the other hills,
Excuse me.
they used to export to Thailand and go over there and help them to get their potato crops going and things like that. And they had a regular contract to send them seed potato because of the temperature in Thailand. They couldn't sustain potatoes for
got ya.
seed.
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to a chef that I knew in England, and Rabbit will probably agree or disagree, but he said that the most important thing was get the fat as hot as it's possible to get the fat, the oil or whatever you're cooking them in. So you need it super hot to cook French fries, chips, whatever.
The thing is that you don't want to go too hot.
All right.
Otherwise, you'll burn the outside, the inside won't be white and fluffy.
Okay.
Simon, no, you won't see any air fryers here. This is not AP. Yeah. I actually think air fryers, yeah, you're right, DW, but air fryers do not a bad job. But if you look at your energy part of it, and for the turnout of it, oh look, I'd still just put the oil on and do it right, because I'm not only just cooking a handful of chips. I'll actually do some fillets of fish as well.
Well, I think it was back in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, no, 90s, yeah. They changed the oil on the McDonald's, and people were kind of complaining that fries were different. And they told us, well, since we got a bunch of Muslims in here and they can't have pork, and we usually have some of the grease that has pork in it, this is why we changed our oil. That's what they told us.
Well, they don't grill McDonald's and that because of different religious beliefs.
Yep.
They only microwave the bacon now. They don't put it on the griller,
Yep.
which means
And you
your
got a piece of
bacon.
cardboard. You got a piece of cardboard bacon.
Yeah, your bacon shit. Yeah,
Bacon chips.
but actually, that was something I did make when you were talking about bacon. I did a batch of it just before the disease we had to have. I did some beef bacon. That turned out very, very nice. Very nice. And that was just that was just the
Sorry.
No wonder he took that. We can actually screenshot that comment, and we can blackmail Steve with that one.
Damn it. I was trying to be quiet, Sparrow, you fucking asshole.
Oh, they do, Spoony. They do here in Australia. There was a thing with the whole lot of it that that McDonald's franchises through here in Australia had to change a few things the way they cooked, just in, because it was put in that it was against the religious thingos and all the rest of it. I would have said, well, the amount of them that are spending money here, I'll satisfy the locals and stuff the rest. But then you're seen as racist.
Muslims usually, I got a friend of mine.
Evening, Karma. Welcome.
He'll have a fillet of fish. That's all he'll eat at McDonald's. Hey, Karma, how you doing? I want to say, Steve Perrin, I hope you don't stick your dick in the air fryer. Realistically, I'd go to the supermarket and get a tin of spaghetti and eat it cold before I'd eat McDonald's. There's no point with McDonald's if you're passing by.
Wait, Johnny. Look, there are various menus at McDonald's. The breakfast menu, as long as you get there before 11, some places 11:30, breakfast menu is brilliant. It is super food. And Egon Ronne even said it was one of his favourite. Egon Ronne, look, he's quite famous in England and France and whatever. But he's he's probably the most famous food critic. Or one of the most famous. And he said he loved McDonald's breakfast. I agree with him. And they're great. The sausage and egg, double sausage and egg McMuffin with the little, what are those things called? Potato fry things. What are they called?
Hash browns.
Hash brown.
Hash browns. Oh, yeah. Hash brown, cappuccino coffee, and a double egg, cheese and sausage, double sausage, egg, cheese McMuffin. It's just beautiful. So I'm sorry, Johnny. No, you're wrong.
Well,
the beef burgers,
each to their own.
I've not had a Big Mac. Don't think I've ever had a Big Mac, ever. I occasionally, shows how sad I am, I occasionally have a Happy Meal because I've got a granddaughter.
He just wants a toy out of it.
Yes!
That's because...
Alright, we've got some business coming on here now.
Welcome, Gaza. Steve, is that big? Yeah, that's because you get the toy, Steve. What's going down, Gaza?
Good afternoon, evening, whatever time it may be. Hello to the host. Darling. Hello to the host, Mr. Siam, and to the rest of the people on the panel. We got Avery, we've got Mr. Perrin, and we got Mike. How are we all doing?
Oh, we're
doing just fine, brother.
We're much better now that you've joined the panel, Gaza. Thank you.
Well, there was something that I wanted to discuss, but we can carry on with what we're talking about because I find it quite interesting with the things that you're talking about. But there is something.
What do you think about McDonald's breakfast, Gaza? We need your input.
It's strange because I was clicking through stuff the other day, stuff that was coming up on the recommends, and there was this one video where an employee had posted a video where she showed the milkshake machine in McDonald's, and she pulled out the filter things at the bottom, and it had never been cleaned ever since it was installed. So it had all kinds of mold and fungi and stuff.
Penicillin, they call that penicillin.
But
no wonder they call them thick shakes.
The thing is, you don't see she actually got sacked, and it's still on YouTube now. And that's just the milkshake machines. I could go further into the video
Well,
where
they had a problem with the ice cream machines here in the United States. There was a software problem that a lot of these ice cream makers would break because the software they put on there had a slight flaw in it that would purposely break down and have to be updated. And this is why we had an ice cream shortage with the McDonald's back in 8 years ago, I think it was.
yeah.
But it was purposely designed.
It wasn't just the milkshake machines. That was just a small part of what was going on.
Yes.
Because for the burgers, there was another one where a woman walked in and brought a burger. She turned the burger upside down and there was mold underneath. Because what they do is, regardless of them being multi-millionaire franchises, etc.,
Yeah.
they do things that you don't see. So they'll keep stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than get new stock. Well, we'll just
Keep it in the freezer.
Yeah, we'll just keep this, and no one's going to know. And you'd be surprised what you really don't know what you're. This wasn't the topic, by the
You
way.
get stale buns and stuff. They put shit on the stale buns.
Yeah, this isn't the topic I wanted to discuss. But seeing as we're talking about
Those are
food,
privately on McDonald's.
I'm just talking about this. But you got to be careful that apparently 50% of all fast food restaurants, no matter where you are in the world, 50% of them
Are gross.
Are gross and using stuff that you're not aware of, and you fucking eat it. You know?
Yes.
But,
Sadly, we do. Yeah.
but strangely, am I still? Hold on. Yeah, strangely,
I can hear you, Baron.
Raza, it's actually weirder than you think. Although everything you've described, what the fuck
Jesus, what's that?
I don't know. I think someone's opened a bag of chips or something.
I think
That's
Mac
me.
must have flushed himself down the toilet.
I put my phone in a plastic bag.
Why?
Why? Because I'm going out to my work truck and going to work.
Oh, all right.
So sorry, I've
All right.
got my hands full.
Right, let me just answer Gaza for 1 second, and we go on to what Gaza wanted to talk about. Gaza, I totally agree with you.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear a word you're saying.
No,
Sorry.
right, it's okay. I'll wait.
Hold
I'll
on.
wait until we have a bit of quiet.
There. Took it out.
I'll turn Perrin up about 40%.
No, I'm okay.
No, that's all right. Go ahead now, Steve.
We're good.
Fair enough.
Right, very quickly. Jazz, I'm not arguing what you said at all. There's horrendous videos you see of how people treat food in these fast food restaurants and whatever. But two things. Firstly, even in a really good restaurant, if you're rude to the waiter and you piss them off, you would not believe what they'll do to your food.
That's another video. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Oh, now you're making me. I've got to tell you
In
something.
other words,
And-
the
and
spitting
even-
on
even
Percy, the spitting on food, that's normal.
Yeah, even excluding all of that, even saying it's a fair play, it's a fair pitch, fair playground, whatever you call it. You actually have more chance of getting food poisoning in a posh restaurant than you do a poor restaurant, because they touch it with their hands all the time. They play with it. They fuck around with it, and
That's their
most
dicks,
of
not the
the-
food.
Perrin.
Most of food poisoning comes from the fact that I'm gonna have to be honest here. Most of the food poisoning comes from the fact that the guy who's cooking your food has had a shit and not cleaned his hands. And if he touches your food,
I do like Mr. Perrin. I do like how he
I
doesn't
do as
mince
well.
his words, does he? He doesn't
Have you
mince
seen
his-
the movie Waiting
no,
with
no.
Ryan? What's his name in it? He was in Green Lantern and all that stuff. I forget, but they show you what they do to food.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
Actually,
gross,
the-
man.
Avery, when I was 16, I worked at a golf and country club. My buddy was the silver service waiter. I was the washer up. And when they pissed him off, you would not believe what he and, the chefs, oh yeah, fuck him. Never upset the waiter. Be nice.
Yeah, that's right. But on the fast food restaurant type things, a friend of mine's got a probably one of the best fish and chip shops, hamburgers and that in Latrobe Valley, in my opinion. And staff turnover is always a thing. But he got a couple of people that worked at McDonald's and worked at well, here it's called Hungry Jack's, but the real parent company is Burger King. And
franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, he'd say, well, righto, you know how to do a burger. And then he'd watch them, and the smoke would be coming up and stuff's burning. And I said, well, what are you doing? And he said, well, the buzzer hasn't gone off yet.
So I'll just let it burn to a fucking crisp because the buzzer hasn't gone off.
Yeah, the buzzer hasn't told me to turn it over yet. Well, there's the door, piss off.
But what I wanted to discuss, maybe changing the subject just a little bit.
You're going
that's
to talk
fine.
about your sex life, Gaza?
No, it was something that I was watching before Johnny went live, and it's a little thing called content. Now, everybody that goes live, whether you've got a channel or not, it's all about the content. What can you bring? Now, what's been happening over the last few months, well, I'd say the last 6 months, 12, ever since COVID finished, people are pushing the envelope to such an extreme now, as we've been seeing with the IP2 fraternity. Like, we see what's going on there, and we see lots of different people doing lots of different things. And we could name these people. We got like the likes Ice Poseidon, Burger King, Johnny Somali, for all these people, yeah? Now, before Johnny went live, I thought I'll just have a little gander at what's going on. And there's a guy called Sam Pepper, and you either know him or you don't.
Oh, God.
Anyway, listen to what I'm saying, Avery. So before Johnny was live, I thought I'll just have a little gander at what's happening here. And because they're free now, after the incident that went down at the 5-star hotel, anyway, he's doing a live stream, and he's in a remote part of Thailand, Mr. Pepper, right? And he's headlined it. These are people that are homeless. We're gonna do the homeless thing. But in reality, what actually went down was he went there, and it turned into, he went to a particular street where a lot of male joggers go. Now, these male joggers, they're only into one thing. And it wasn't long before Mr. Pepper realised that. Now, listen to this, because I'm talking about what people, the extremes people go to for content. So he's walking down this alley. He said, I'm not going down there. That's the worst alley ever. It looks shady as fuck. There's no way I'm walking down there. But there were people sending 100 gifted subs, which is 500 quid. And then the same guy give him another 100 gifted subs. So that's 1,000 quid in 2 minutes, some guy. And he said, walk down that alley. Now, this is the point I'm trying to make about the extremes people go to. So he's walking down this fucking alley. He's walking down there, and there's a geezer coming the other way, and he stopped, this geezer did, and he went, oh, what you do? And Sam went, oh, it's my first time. I'm not sure about what's going on here. Can you, is it what I think it is? And he went, oh, and he started doing this thing with his arms where he was like exercising. He goes, you like this? You like this? Where he's going backwards and forwards with his arms. And you get the picture, right? So Sam's gone. Sam's looked back at him and gone, I'm not sure what you mean. He then looked at him straight in the eyes, this guy, this jogger, and he said, big dick, big dick. And Sam said, well, it's okay, actually. It's not too bad. He said, I can check. He said, well, and then the next thing you know, he gets his hand, this guy, this random fucking jogger, and he puts it down his shorts, and he starts fucking around. And Sam Pepper's like, what are you doing? He says, "Oh, I want to check because you say you have this, and I want to see." And this is live. I watched it about 10 minutes before Johnny went live. I was sitting back thinking, this is what people are doing for. He then phoned his
Good Lord.
missus. Listen to this. He then phoned his missus and said he got a bit of a semi on. His missus said, "Why?" He said, "I don't know. It must have just been the feeling. I can't explain." And he's talking to his missus while he's saying this. And I'm like, Jesus fucking wet. And this is, see, the point I'm trying to make, Avery, is this. Have you noticed they're pushing the envelope now where
Yes.
you've got to be better than the next guy. You've got to be able to. He had 4,000 people watching. This is
Well,
this
best
is
of
the
luck
ex-
to him, but that's
yeah, but the main point of me bringing this all up is, in our little community that we've got, we do what we do, but we don't push the envelope to the extremes like that, just for fucking content. But these guys, it's like fucking hell. But there's no holds barred, man. It's Jesus. I was a little bit surprised, and then I saw Johnny.
Gaza, that's a really good point. But I would disagree. I think people do here push the limit. They do try to be
there are
more
people
offensive, more horrible.
Yes.
While we do it in a much smaller way, because it's as you say, they got 4,000 watching. We've got, if we're lucky, 40, 100 on a good day. Yeah. But I still think people do that. They still want to be known for being argumentative and what.
Well,
look,
shock jockeys.
This might sound quite controversial, but I would imagine even all the guys on here that I think are real shitheads, fucktards or whatever, I would imagine in real life, there's no way will they be like that, because they wouldn't last for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but Johnny,
they put on this act because
Johnny,
there's no comebacks or. Go
Steve,
on, sorry, mate. I'm talking over you. Carry on.
No. I was going to say I was talking over you actually, but Steve, the thing is, you got to look at the age thing now. The guys are between 20 and 40, a lot of these young guys. So they're still going through the don't give a fuck stage, which we've all been through.
Yes, very good point.
So they're in this mindset where, well, I'm this age, I can get away with murder. I still look good.
Yeah.
I can do
I'm immortal.
I'm immortal. I'm
Yeah.
immortal. I could get away with it. People find it funny. And yes, he made 1,000 quid in 2 minutes. And that was before he went down the street. Once he went down the street, the chat, you couldn't read the chat. It was going so fast. People were laughing.
Right.
I thought it was funny, but at the same time, I couldn't help but think, Jesus, look at what people are doing nowadays for content.
Yeah. I find exactly the same. Some of it is so cringeworthy, and oh shit! But why am I still watching it?
Yeah.
It's so bad. Absolutely right, Gaz. I couldn't agree with you more.
I just wanted to bring that up, Johnny. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts, Johnny, on that?
Oh, look, we over the years we've watched a lot of the shock jock type crap. They're very time limited because people get sick of their crap after a while. And you're right. Somebody else is always trying to outdo them. Who's the biggest? Yeah. Who's the biggest fool? Until somebody gets hurt, that's what everybody wants. It's like a blood sport, isn't it?
He went into a posh hotel after. He went into a posh hotel after. He said he wanted some water. That was just a ruse to get into this posh hotel. Gets in, goes up to the 10th floor, sits on the balcony on the 10th floor drinking water. And who contacts him within seconds? Ice Poseidon spoke to him. Suspender spoke to him. All the big guns saying, "What the fuck are you doing? And why did you phone your missus live and say that you was aroused by what happened? Why did you do that?" She actually put the phone down on him. She was in the shower and she went, are you serious that you're telling me that you got aroused? And he said, only 10%. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. It was in the middle of the day, and it was just weird that he did that. And he's talking to his missus, man. It's like, I tried to put myself in his shoes, and I thought, no, Sam, that's not the thing to say to your missus, because it's not good for you, what you're saying. It's just not good. In the long run, she will never forget the things that you are doing, regardless of whether it's content or not. There's a deeper seated thing going on here that you're pushing the envelope, man. You're fucking going too far. Yes, you got the views. Yes, you were getting the money, but fucking hell, man, how far are you actually willing to go just to get?
Well, maybe he was testing himself out.
Yeah,
you never
well,
know.
If you watch him, you'll know what he's about, and he does have a bit of a tone to his voice, shall we say, that that tells you a lot.
That is the problem with him, Gaz.
Don't tell me it's one of those upper
He's more
class
irritating
posh
than me,
type.
Johnny.
You know.
No, it's not. No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. He has a very. I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah.
In other words, his voice goes up a couple of decibels than the normal.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrendous, mate.
It's just.
He's
Sorry,
way more
Joe,
annoying than I
I've
could ever
been
be. That's saying a lot.
listening,
It's
but
fucking
I've had to be. I've been listening, but I've been away. Gazza, don't you think though that most of the people you've just been talking about are bi or haven't come out of the closet yet?
I think they're experimenting, shall we say?
I know this will upset me. I really like Ice Poseidon, and I think he's got live streaming down to a fine art. Really good at it. And just to clarify things, IP stands for Ice Poseidon. That's it. IP2 is all his followers. So
No,
he is
IP2
not
is because his first
IP2.
one got fucked and he started up a second one.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, no.
That's
From
right.
what my understanding is, because I've heard him say, "Fuck IP2, they're bastards." That's so. IP2 are his followers, his copycats, whatever. But I really like the guy. I think he's quite cool. He's a real arrogant sod, but there's something about him that makes his streams really
He
interesting.
does have I have to admit with you on one level, yes, I do like his personality. The way there was one instance with the hotel thing where he was sitting there, and this random guy brought them Lacoste tops. He spent over $300 just to get notoriety because it was Poseidon. Anyway,
All right,
said.
I missed
He
that.
said, he said, what?
Go
He
on.
said, what's the caveat? He said, the guy that brought the top said, the caveat is it okay if I turn up? He said, if you can get in and get past security and actually sit with us, then yeah. Now, the part that I found hilarious was they're all sitting there at this table. They spent 500 quid on a gourmet 5-star meal with fucking top chefs and shit. They're being delivered stuff that's posh as fuck. It's a 5-star hotel, and this guy that brought them the t-shirts is sitting on a separate table on his own, looking at his phone. So Ice Poseidon's turned round and he's gone, "What are you doing?" This is what I thought was funny. And this guy looked back at him and said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, what are you doing? Are you going to order anything?" He said, "No, it's too no." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you some bread rolls then." And he was so happy for these bread rolls, and he was fucking chewing on these bread rolls.
I've watched a lot of it, Gadget, but I missed that one. I think I'd have found it as funny as you did. But
it's just, I like he can be funny. Yeah, I agree with you. He can be funny. Ice can be funny.
I think he's better on his own, where he just goes for a wander on his own, without any of the wingman or whatever. And he's really good at agreeing to anything anybody says. So you get some random beggar come up, and you and I would go, "No, you're okay, mate." He'll say, "Well, have you got a motorbike?" No, but my friend has. All right, can you get his motorbike and borrow that and take me somewhere? He's really good at that, at accepting whatever fate will come his way. Whereas you and I, we've travelled, we've been places, you know, that the guide who says, I'll take you around the temple, you'll go, no, you're okay, mate, I'm good, I know where I'm going. He is really good at going, okay, so what are you going to show me?
Yeah.
Well, okay, right, yeah, all right, so we're going. That he doesn't even negotiate that money. He doesn't say how much. He just,
I know,
yeah,
I
okay,
know.
you're going to
I
show
know,
me.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
really clever at
And
it.
he and
Doesn't
what he
get
can
it,
do,
'cause he
yeah.
knows
Well, he's,
that it doesn't matter. Sorry, mate. You go.
no, what
Go
it
on.
is, you're right. You're exactly right. But the thing is with him, in particular, is because he's been at it a while. Everybody sees him as the guy. He's the one that's they sort of aspire to be like one day. They want to be. They look at him and think, well, maybe one day I'll get to his levels because he's up there in terms of he owns the site that you're watching. He owns the fucking thing. The guy's a millionaire. Everybody knows that. But the point I was getting at is he has this way about him where he'll bump into people and he'll manipulate them in such a way that he'll go, well, what are you going to show? Like what you just said. And he'll say, well, what are you going to show us? Because it's all about the content, right? And this guy, that whoever it is he's talking to, says, well, what? I don't know what you mean. He says, well, you're on the stream now, so you've got to show us what you're capable of, and then we'll determine whether or not we'll see you again in the future.
Look, Gaza, this is probably boring to anybody that's not watched it, but I'm so glad we've had this conversation.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. He is really, and Gaza, I don't think it's a learnt thing. I think that's just how he is.
He's a master manipulator.
I actually think that he's done a lot of study and he's watched a lot of stuff where, you know, we've all done it over the years. You know, watch out for this, watch out for that. You know, and you know, travelling tips things to others so they don't fall into, you know, situations where he's watched all that and kind of go, well, that's what might happen. This is going to be good content. Instead of us saying don't do it, he's going to say, well, if you do it, this can happen. So he's very smart. He's reversed what we've all been saying for years.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Johnny, you summed up what me and Gaza said in about
he did
2 hours in about 20 seconds.
Oh, it's called content. It's called content, Steve. I'll let you ramble on for half an hour and then come in and, you know, boom, there you go.
But hold on.
Look,
I have to say something.
And we're not even drunk.
According to some people, Johnny hasn't got a clue. Mr. Perrin hasn't got a clue. A lot of us on here, we haven't got a fucking clue what we're talking about, have we?
Ain't got Scooby, you mean?
It's funny that the people that slate us, because we're the underlings, we are not worthy of some of these people that are in the higher
Lieutenant, welcome.
You know.
The whole part about it.
Can I have 2 minutes just to say something? Because I'm drunk enough now to say this. I see Simon in the chat, and we had a bit of an argument the other day. And in hindsight, I'm actually quite pleased. At least you didn't lie. You turned around and said, yes, I did put it on my channel. You put the blame on somebody else, but you could have easily lied and said, no, I never did anything, Steve, which is what most people do. So I take my hat off to you for that a little bit. I thought, first time I've seen you being honest. Nah, it's a little dig there. But the really weird thing, Simon, was when you were really having a go at me and everything I looked at showed my photo and whatever. But I think it was you, put me right, but I think you said, it's disgusting. This 80-year-old man with a 30-year-old wife. It's just disgusting. Which was a real compliment for my wife. Because at the time of that photo, she was 43, a grandmother.
Well, actually, What do you mean, an 80-year-old man with a 20-year-old wife? I'd say,
No,
yo,
no, he's
really?
a 30. I mean, look, that was that photo that everybody showed. Look, I should shut up, but I'm having fun. I
Go for it.
always
Go
have
for it.
fun when Gaz is on it.
You don't have to shut up,
I
Steve.
should-
Trust me. You don't have to
I
shut up,
always shut
Steve.
up.
Steve,
But
Steve, you
it
don't have to
was-
shut up, mate. Don't have to shut up. Keep going. Keep
really
going.
weird because although you were having a dig at me, you know, old man with this 30-year-old girl, I thought, fuck. And I actually told her, I said, I've got guys hate me on here that think you're only 30 in that photo when you were a 41-year-old grandmother. So, look, I still think you're a cunt, Simon, for what you did, but I admire your honesty for saying, yeah, I did it.
Well, it was one of those situations where he came forward and said, "Well, this is the way it is. You either take it or you don't." He
Yeah.
doesn't care. He doesn't
Yeah.
care which way you take it, but at least he presented himself in a way that gave you the opportunity to look at it positively and think, "Can we move
Exactly.
on? Can we move on?"
Exactly.
And that's what he did. So yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking sport to him.
I have to reaffirm. I still think he's a cunt. I'm not taking that back.
Yeah, that's twice you said it there.
However, you can think somebody's a cunt and still think, yeah, they acted honourably on this occasion. That's all right.
Mr. Nescafe in the chat.
John,
There you go.
Johnny still thinks I'm a cunt. So and we get on okay.
Well, you know, I remember there was a time you called me a few worse, more words than a cunt, but anyhow, we ended up being good mates, so what the hell?
Exactly.
I got a thick skin.
Johnny makes me laugh. He's Johnny. I hate to say this, mate, but you have mellowed a little bit over the last few months. So if I may be so bold to say,
Gazza,
I didn't hear him the other day. Did you?
I,
It's savage as fuck, man.
the whole part about the days of turning people into cannon fodder, they're not long gone. It's just not productive. You know, the thing is, over the years, I must admit, I've got off streams and been really, really angry, and that shouldn't happen. Now, I get off a stream and I might wake up halfway through the night giggling, and because I've had fun and I've laughed.
yeah. Well, I heard you say. Actually, I think it was yesterday. A couple of days. I don't know, it was yesterday or the day before. You said you went. It was quite. I found it quite amusing. You said you went to sleep the other night, and when you woke up in the morning, you had a smile on your face because you were laughing that much when you went to sleep. You still had a smile on your face when you woke up.
Yeah. You know, that was with the encounter with that you know, my favourite little person. And the whole part of it just made me laugh. It didn't make me angry because I'm starting to laugh now. It's so pathetic. It's funny.
And it is, and that's the funny thing. You see, eventually, what's going to happen is, I think we're going to see hiatus. Is that the word? We're going to see a big fucking something happen where it's all going to implode in on itself, and we're just going to think, well, we've been talking about the same shit now for that many years. No fucker's interested, but we're still talking about what the fuck. Let's just
Right.
move on.
We aren't, Gazza. We've been drawn back in because it's all, like you say, it's all about content.
Every time I try to get out,
I've kind of said, well, I'm not interested in that. What you say, you're right. You've got freedom of speech. I've got pretty well freedom of speech here, except for the pricks of the band. But, you know, I've still got a few guidelines on it. But the thing is,
Well,
that's the way things are going. The drama is okay. You know, it's like the television. Oh, yeah, what? Nah, I'm sick of that. I'll turn over to the next channel. You know,
Yeah, but you see,
That's-
Johnny, it's
If you
interesting.
don't enjoy it, don't watch it.
It's interesting what you say there, because there are different people that listen and lurk, and they've been around for years. There are, believe it or not, there's people that have been lurking for years and don't ever speak. And these people, I can hear an echo.
Yeah, the people that worry about content sometimes become fake because they're trying to be somebody they're not, trying to get contact. You know, it's just I see that a lot.
Yeah, so basically there's
Good point, Mac.
there's people in this community, and what they do, they don't say anything, but they listen. And these are the people that I want to click the link. If I go live, I want these people that have been quiet for so long to click the link and say, here's your opportunity to vent your frustrations and tell me, as the host, I want to hear what you've got to say. Because if we've got a panel full of people, there's more than one person that's going to react to what you're saying. And you've finally been able to get it off your fucking chest. And that's what's called free speech.
Right, and also they might be actually terrified to actually talk.
Well,
Being behind
yeah.
the keyboard is safe, isn't it?
Yeah, but Avery, even you went quiet for a few months, yeah? And then you came back. And now you've come back as a different... I'll see you in a different light now when I look at you. I see you as a guy
thank
that's...
you.
No, but I told you that before.
Is it shining?
It was the alcohol. It was the alcohol.
no,
Yeah,
it was actually Gazza lifted up his blinds so there was a little bit more sunshine coming.
Fuck off, Johnny. Fuck off, Johnny.
No, very paranoid right now because my back patio doors are open, right? And the
Gazza,
cats
can I have a
sometimes
little
come in.
argument
So
with you
I'm keeping an eye on them
before?
too.
Can I have a little argument with Gazza before?
They might piss in my
Oh,
kitchen.
you go for it. I'm going to go and have a smoke.
Mr. Perry
It's only
wants
a
to
quick
talk.
one, Gazza.
Mr. Perry would like to
Gazza.
speak. Go on then.
Gazza.
Go for it.
When you're sober, like you are tonight, your clarity of thought and your intelligence shine through. Really great guy to talk to. You understand so much stuff. Gazza, when you're pissed,
Yes, you
you
don't have to.
sound
You
like
don't
a
have to.
total-
You don't have to bring that to the forefront. I already know that. You're telling me something I already
No.
know.
So why do you do it?
Why does everybody do it on this platform?
No, you do it to the extreme.
Yeah, but
I'm
everybody
always-
does it. It's not just
Gazza,
me.
No, Gazza.
Don't
I am
single one guy out.
roughly-
Every
I am-
fucker does it.
I am roughly the same idiot, sober or drunk.
No,
Roughly.
that's incorrect. I'll prove you wrong. When you first
Okay.
came into this community, listen carefully. When
Okay.
you first came into this community, you was quiet as a fucking man. You never even fucking swore, mate. Correct?
I don't. Anyway,
No, you
I just
never
don't-
even swore. It's only in the last, it was me who pointed this out. It's only in the last few months where you've changed your tack and you thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be me
No,
now. And I don't care whether people like it or
I
not.
heard you say that the other day. I don't agree. I don't think I've
Nah,
changed
you was
talk.
different back in the day. Honestly, Steve, you was.
All right. Look, I'll give you that, but it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I didn't make a decision to do it. But look, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I appear to other people, rather like you don't know how you appear to other people. And what I'm trying to do, Gaz, is give you a backhanded compliment. It's so pleasurable to talk to you on Johnny.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. I'm more that. Listen,
but when you get 6 hours in your
yes,
stream, it's
I'm
horrible.
I'm more than aware.
It
Yeah, you
is
don't. Yeah, but if
just
you don't like it, you
horrible.
can tune out. You can tune out at that point if you're not happy.
No, yeah, all right. Yeah, it's a good point. All right.
So, but the point, but the
still-
main.
No,
Go on.
Gaza. No, let me explain. I still think of you as part of the good guy gang.
The thing is,
The
Steve.
nice people gang. And I would actually say you're very high in the hierarchy.
Well,
the
no,
guy-
no. Please.
So when you sort of get a bit stupid, like, oh fuck, no, don't say that again. No. You
Listen,
follow me?
I made a
Go
point. I've made a
I
point.
gotta go, guys.
See you later. See you later.
You
Mike.
take
Talk
care.
to you later, Maggie.
Good having you on,
Bye.
Mike. Good having you on.
See you, mate.
But I made a point many years ago when I was first involved in it, and this was when I was living in another country with somebody else, right? And I made a point then,
Right.
and I'm going to make the same point now. So my point is this: when I first turned up in this fucking shit show that I called it, right? Now, what I did was I said, we all need to be aware of one thing. No matter how old you are, you never stop learning. So I was told I was with one woman for 16 years. I was with another woman for 6.5 years. I was with another woman for how many years? I fucking lost count. But every one of those women said to me the same thing. Now, as I said, it doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you're humble enough to realize that you never stop learning from people. That makes, in my eyes, that makes you an interesting person because you're not too big for your boots. You're able to take advice on board and you'll learn from what that person tells you. So I'm more than aware about how I am when I'm intoxicated, for example. I'm more than aware of that, Steve. I don't need anybody to tell me that.
You don't need me to tell you. All right, I can I retract that then, Gaza? I didn't know you were aware.
Oh God, of
you're
course.
aware-
Fuck me, I'm more than aware, mate. I'm more than aware. Trust me.
I'll retract it. It wasn't have a fight with you. But do you take my point that in a conversation like this, you're so quick, you're clearly intelligent, articulate, and you can word a good argument. When you're
Oh,
pissed, it's just Gaza. It sounds horrible.
Yeah, well, you don't have to listen. As I say, you can tune out. Up to you.
No,
That's
look, now you're taking the offence. Like I'm just saying. All right, I'll shut up.
Actually, Gazza's stream, Gazza does, he runs a fairly good stream. Yes, it does, and he admits it regularly. It goes downhill after a few drinks, but he's enjoying himself. So what?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, you're right, Johnny. I apologise, Gaza. It's only because.
Don't apologise. Kick him in the guts a couple more times.
All right.
No, you don't have to apologise. I don't want no fucking apologies. The thing is, we start off the stream. We do what we do. People come on, and as the night progresses, we're getting to that stage of the night where everybody is relaxed. And by the way, Stu, it's not just me. Everyone is relaxed.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So once everyone's relaxed and we're all in that kind of mood because it's that time of night, it's only then if you're not happy with what you're hearing, it's then that you can say, "Oh, I'm going to tune out now. I don't want to hear this anymore." It's up to you.
All right. I think you're misunderstanding. The problem is, or how I feel it is, when you're, and maybe everybody is drunk on it, it just gives the nasty girls ammunition to go at you.
Which is what's been
Because you're
happening.
drunk
Which
and
is
you said
what's been
this.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hate.
It's what's been happening.
Now,
I'll see that.
now you could take on anybody in a discussion, a conversation, a debate, or whatever, but they don't look at this bit of the conversation. They look at the bit when you're what's the expression? 9 points to the wind, and you're pissed, and you're drunk, and you say the stupid things that we all say when we're drunk. I'm not pointing a bit, Gaza. I do exactly the same, but I try to back out of conversation when I get to that point.
Yes, you do, and it's at that
You're-
point.
you're-
It's at that point that
you'll
I say, "Don't
carry
go,
on
don't
for
go,
about-
Steve. Don't
Go
go, don't go. Keep going, Steve. Keep going."
Yeah. I back out. As Clint Eastwood said, memorably, a man's got to know his limitations. I know mine. I back out when I get too pissed, too drunk.
Yeah, but because you see, Steve, you're not running your own street. I'm a one-man
Yeah,
band.
absolutely, Gaza. Look,
Because I'm a
Gaza, what you're proving my point so much because your arguments are winning. Your debate is winning this argument. However, you still get to the end of your stream when you're normal, when you're pissed, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And I know,
Yeah.
fuck, they're going to say he said this.
No,
Or
I
he
do
repeated
take a
himself
listen.
7 times.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Perrin. I'll tell you something that you're not aware of.
Go on.
You've said things in the past that I've taken on board. Johnny Siam has said things in the past I've taken on board. Even Avery has been serious at times and said some shit
yeah.
on. Hold on.
Never underestimate Avery.
Now, it doesn't matter who you are or what age you are. And everyone that's listening needs to understand this. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are and how good or clever or whatever you think you are. You're never old enough or young enough to take advice.
Never
on
too
board
old.
from other people. You've got to take that on fucking board. That's just the way it is.
That's a tricky one. I find in life it doesn't really work well if I take other people's advice. Now that may make me sound arrogant, but usually if I follow my own gut feeling and go my own way, to be honest, Gaza, even if it doesn't work, I don't care. Occasionally, I've taken advice from other people and gone their way because they've known more about it than me. And hey, are you sure? Never worked well for me. My gut feeling is usually.
What's your
Okay.
opinion, Johnny? Johnny, I'd like to hear what Johnny's got to say about
Well,
that.
I was just going to say we can refine this to say, opinions, everybody's got one. And opinions are like arseholes. The same thing.
But Johnny, I'll throw the same question back to you in terms of, have you ever been lurking on a panel, listened to somebody who said something and thought, fucking hell, what he just said made sense. I didn't realise that. Have you ever done that?
I've been in this, well, people like to call it genre, for so long I haven't heard anything that's fucking inspiring.
Ah, fuck.
Sorry, Gaza.
Yeah, but you've been around. No, because you've been around probably as long as me, actually. In fact, yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Yeah. And I was streaming long before you started doing it,
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Back in the early days when we had
Yes.
candles and you had to peddle your internet.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
And
But I went my way. I was always opinionated the whole lot. I haven't changed. Mellowed, yes, a little bit, but that's fine. I've tried to take the channel nowadays to a different level. Yes, we can all talk about whatever you want, but are not stuck in a rut, if you understand what I mean, about one thing. I'm not interested in, he said, she said, we said bullshit. I'm not really interested in that because that only gives them free airtime,
I like the way your channel's going right now in terms of the way that you're directing it, the way that you're allowing things that were never allowed before. People can speak more, they can say stuff, and then as long as it doesn't go over the line, it's acceptable because it's not going over the line.
That's like the trailer going down the bottom there. it's just treat other people like you'd like to be treated.
Exactly.
The whole thing about it is, I was going to intervene a little earlier on with Simon and DWP. Just kind of check the guns at the door a little bit. You don't have to love everybody. You don't have to hate everybody. Just respect yourself and respect the channel. That's simple as that.
I think the elephant in the room is this: there are certain channels and certain people that still, to this day, harp on about stuff from years ago that happened to them. And I remember when this happened and my channel went down and it was so bad, and I don't like this person and I can't listen to this person and I can't. And these people are still alive in the community today, but their disintegration is visible to such a degree. They are now non-entities. They're no longer what they thought they used to be. They spent thousands of pounds on equipment and they did this, they did that, but now they're fuck all. They're nothing. And the reason for that, they are the victim of their own downfall. They brought it on themselves.
Their demise was inevitable. But the thing is, where your channel and mine are a little bit different, I do have a block list, and there's people that I won't let in the channel because they're just narcissists. Good night, Karma. Sleep well. Have a good day at work tomorrow. The whole thing about it, that's not what I want to get into. Providing it doesn't turn into a shit fest. I've got no problems about people coming on and talking to people. Like the last stream we had was brilliant. Steve got to talk to people that he'd had a bit of a bitch with for quite a long time, and in a way put it to bed. So I'm happy about that, and I think Steve was happy about that. So if that's one golden light we can put up there, well, the channel's been a success to me.
There you go. You see, what you just said there made sense to me. And which is exactly, Johnny, why sometimes I see people click the link and I think, oh, this person, they've got something to say now. And the reason why they got something to say is because they're not allowed. Now, I will clarify this 100%. They're not allowed to voice their opinions on other people's channels because they will not allow them to do that. But on me specifically, if I see somebody coming up, I'll think to myself, well, this person's got something to say. So I'll let them on the fucking panel and then they'll say exactly what they got to fucking say.
Yeah, well,
may I say,
yes, Avery.
I was beaten into the fucking ground, right? Sat and listened to a bunch of you guys, and you turned me into a fucking animal.
Who?
No, you don't blame other. Don't point the finger, Avery.
You know what I mean?
No. Yes, I know what you're trying to say, but don't point the finger at other people.
No. It's not. I'm not pointing the finger. It's just funny. It's just the way I use my terminology.
But for your personal, because you're a fully grown man, you're not a kid. So
no, I know, but I did learn.
Hold on. You're in control. Apparently, you're supposed to be in control of your own emotions and feelings at all time. So you can't be pointing the finger at other people for how you...
I'm not. I'm just having a laugh with you.
Oh, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. You guys turned me into a fucking animal. Particularly Johnny.
I don't understand why you say that, Avery.
Well, because now I sort of know what everyone's up to, and now I don't give a fuck what I'm saying.
Avery, you understand this. You understand YouTube better than most of us do.
Well, I'm not as good as you think I would.
No.
I wish I knew more.
Yeah, more, yeah.
I'm always open to learn more, you see.
Yeah.
That's why my eyes are still open.
Yeah,
you know?
But you're still better than most of us. You're still better than most of us.
Bullshit, man. I'm just the same dude as you.
Yeah,
Are.
yeah,
Just a dude.
yeah. Okay.
Some dude on the internet. I'm no big deal. Doesn't matter. I'm not here for clout. Not here for anything like that. Just here to be fit.
Everybody, and okay, Avery, I'll tell you, and I'd like to hear Gaz's point. Pete, I think you work on the basis of people underestimate your intelligence, underestimate what you can do, and you love it. You love the fact that they underestimate how clever you are. What do you think, Gaza?
There's something you said in that, Steve, that,
I think that as
that I was
far as
kind of laughing about, but I'm not going to say too much.
as far as Avery's concerned, he was looked upon by many people as this stupid guy that hasn't got a fucking clue. Unfortunately for them, what happened was, what transpired was, you should never judge a book by its cover. In other words, just because you look at something and think, oh, that's an ugly, dusty book, that must be a right fucking shitty fucking book. Unfortunately, Avery had many books in his library. And Avery started to show us the books in his library, didn't you, Avery? So now we see Avery in a different light. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All you have to think of, occasionally he lets it slip. His vocabulary is far. I mean, I studied English literature A-level and passed it. So my English is reasonable.
I can be elaborate.
Avery's English knowledge is better than mine. So
Don't be
he's
so
not
silly, man.
full.
Really?
Huh?
No, I don't believe that one.
Really, Steve?
Oh yeah.
Bloody hell.
Occasionally he says words that I have to Google.
That's actually, that's a compliment. It's not a backhand. It's not even a backhanded compliment. It's actually just a compliment to you, Avery.
Absolutely,
that one.
yeah.
I appreciate it. I do more than you think.
I sussed Avery out just after the Nurse Rita stuff. And I thought, yeah, he's really having good fun, taking a piss out of us and whatever. And I've heard him having conversations where he's sober and whatever. His vocabulary is good. I would guess he might not be the cleverest person in our community, but he's in the top one.
I wouldn't say that whatsoever.
That's a pinch from Brian Clough, who said it. I might not be the best manager in the Premiership, but I'm in the top one.
It's funny that you mentioned Brian Clough, because Brian Clough was one of the few managers that I looked at and thought, fucking hell, this guy's got it together. He knows exactly what he's doing, this guy does. And if the footballers, and you see, the good thing about him was, if youngsters came into, and they were talented, just because they were talented footballers, Mr. Clough would look at them and say, you might be a good footballer, but if you got a big mouth and you start giving me some fucking shit, then you ain't in this fucking team. Because I'm not standing for any shit. And that was Mr. Clough, Mr. Brian Clough.
But Johnny, yeah, you probably don't know who Brian Clough was. He took, what was it? Was it second division Nottingham Forest?
He took Nottingham Forest to the European fucking, yeah.
Was it second division when he took them over?
Didn't they win the European fucking cup?
Twice. They won the He took average team to the Premiership. He got through all the battles to get to the Premiership. He then took them to win 2 European Championships. And Nottingham is a really shit town, isn't it? Really, Gaza. I mean, there's no money there. It's a shit town. There's more violence there than any other town you could almost imagine in England. A fucking horrible town.
I haven't been there in years.
It's a shit place.
Gaz has
But
just
this
gone
guy,
there.
Brian Clough,
Yep.
took team from the second. No, I could be wrong there. but my memory was he took it from the second division, first division, into the Premier, into Europe, and won the European title twice. Absolute genius.
Well, you know, the whole part about, if you're talking about sportsmen, when they, at a young age, they show abilities which are a little bit bigger than, a bit better than average. You'll normally get the family group that start to put them on a pedestal. As they move through their life, g'day Orb, as they move through their life, you know, and sports, you know, the sports, they get a feeling that they're better than everybody else. Where in actual fact, some of their abilities are. And as they move up, they have this basically chip on their shoulders, which needs to be knocked off without breaking the spirit.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
A good coach will do that, but give them definition and teach them. It's not about you, it's about the team. If you fail, the team fails.
Yeah.
You want to shine, get out there and play for the team. Because if the team doesn't win, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Would I be correct to say that? Sorry, I just went to the toilet. Would I be correct?
I knew you'd gone for a Waz.
Yeah. Would it be correct to say that the Ashes is still on, or is that just me?
I don't know. I don't watch fucking cricket.
Yeah,
mate.
I haven't followed much, Gaza, but England won today, so I think it's 2-1 to Australia.
No, I think it's 2-2 actually.
Quite
Actually,
frankly, it's one of the most boring sports
you
I've ever-
pommy bastards are very sore sportsmen. Every time we, the Australians, beat you, you cry like a pack of little bitches.
But we
And
still owe
carry
you,
on,
Aussies.
carry on about your rules. Well,
I
we
gotta love
play
it.
by
I
the
gotta love it.
rules.
I just
Shove
thought I'd
them up your ass and win.
Avery, I just thought I'd
Johnny.
drop a little bone of contention into the conversation.
You know, Johnny, I don't usually disagree with you, but cricket for us in the UK
It's fucking
is
boring.
something to distract us.
No, it's actually not
It just
boring.
distracts us until the football season comes back again. We don't really care.
Okay, Dalo.
Most
Okay,
of us.
Dalo. I was wrong. I thought it was 2-2. But yeah. But I think we won by 3 wickets. Is that correct, Johnny? Sorry, mate. I'm not sure, mate.
Doesn't
Yeah,
the,
they're trying to
last
put me
game?
to
The last game doesn't matter because coming second sucks.
Yes, but that tiny little cup. Have you seen how big the cup is? The Ashes cup.
Yeah. I have. I think Timmy's cock was bigger.
Unfortunately for Timmy, his
What
biggest
the fuck
downfall.
did you just say, Johnny?
Johnny, just to add to what Johnny just said, the biggest downfall for Timothy, his channel revolves around outdated old school shit that no one's interested in anymore, bringing up stuff that's no longer relevant, talking
I
about
know-
stuff that no one's interested in, but he still thinks.
Gaza, I know a person that he should team up with. I reckon they'd be perfect together.
Fuck me.
Can I
That's the
just
guy.
explain?
That's the guy I was talking about earlier that spent $2,000, $3,000 on equipment, and it backfired spectacularly. Because
Yes.
now when he goes live, no fucker watches because they all think, "Oh, I can't be bothered with this stupid cunt." It's just a fucking.
Sadly,
whatever.
Gaza, as scuffed as I am, I'm getting more views than him.
Yes,
Look,
Avery.
look, before we go into that, let me just explain cricket to Johnny.
Oh, please don't. I
Uh,
don't want to go to sleep.
It's
this weekend.
easy. I know all about cricket.
No,
Palms cheek.
Johnny. Look, in England, we have lots of time when you can play football. That's why we're not as good as we should be, but relatively good. We have 2 or 3 weeks in England when we can play cricket. That's all. Maybe 4 weeks if you're really lucky. So as a young boy in England, you've got a month to practice cricket, where you've got the rest of the year to do football and whatever else is rugby, or I didn't do rugby at my school, or hockey or whatever. But that's the reason, Johnny. It's down to weather.
Well, that's
I
why.
think, honestly, England, for the amount of practice we would get as young boys and the exposure to it, we do okay. So we still take you on and sometimes win, sometimes lose, but you have far more opportunities to play. Same as India.
Oh, that's right. But if we go back into the 70s when the rivalry was really going against the English,
Yeah.
there was Australia A and Australia B team, and they kicked the shit out of the fucking Poms, you know, every which way but loose. And then the playoff was Australia A against Australia B.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, look. And look, Johnny, I will always accept that for a nation of only, what have you got now, 26 million? 30?
Oh,
With immigrants?
well, we could actually side an Indian football, basketball, tennis team, and cricket team, and bus conductors if you want.
What's the population of Australia at the moment?
Oh, I don't care. 26 million. Dallo's come up with
26
26
million.
I
million.
look,
26
Last
million
time I looked,
bogans.
it was
Imagine 26 million bogans coming at you, Avery. What would you do?
Oh, it's my baseball bat, mate.
But Gaza, not all of us are bogan. Some of
I
us
was
have
joking, I was joking.
education.
I was joking, mate. I was joking.
Oh, so
But you've got to have if you don't have a mullet,
City.
if you don't have a mullet, you're just not in with the crowd because you've got to have a mullet.
Yeah, but I'm on Smoko, so leave it alone. I'm on Smoko.
That's an Aussie thing. Smoke a break, mate.
But let me finish my point, because it is a
Yeah,
The
go
answer
for it,
to
Steve.
that, Hello, is Destiny's Child. That's the answer to the
You
first
only
question.
have, I would guess you've got about 30 million now. And you still win swimming events, you still win the cricket, you still win rugby. And you've got a population, I would guess, a quarter of the size of the city that Gaza lives in.
Well,
No.
the one thing about it, Steve,
Yeah.
our swimmers are very, very good because you got to outswim the fucking sharks. Number one, that's training. That's basic training. Outswim the
Yeah.
sharks.
No, it's funny, Johnny. It's funny,
Chuck
Johnny.
him in the sea and say, "You better fucking get out of here quick."
Johnny, Harv put a video up the other day, and he put an interesting video up, and he showed the most beautiful beach, and it was miles and miles of crystal clear. It was absolutely beautiful. And somebody said in the comment section, and I found this quite interesting, because I was asking the same question, and the person said, I can't remember who it was, but they said, "Why is there no fucker there?" And the answer to that was because there's stuff going on in that ocean that no fucker wants to get near to, and that's why there's no
Well,
fucker
the one,
there.
the one, like the oceans we like down here. You've got the 90-mile beach, which is 90 miles of just open, beautiful beach. This is probably, this is the colder part of the country. Up where Adrian is, there's some beautiful beaches, you got the coconut trees, all that kind of stuff. No one goes in the water because of the box jellyfish and the fucking all the rest of the shit. That's why no one goes in the water. They lay on the sand, or they might go in up to their knees, but that's about it. But here, people actually swim in the ocean, and some great surfing. Dowlow's got a place on an island, and there's some beautiful surf around those islands. And in this part of the state, they hold the Rip Curl Championships, which is worldwide surfing.
Yeah.
You can go in the water here.
Have you surfed, Johnny?
I used to body surf in the younger days, Steve.
Johnny, can you tell us about when you was in your 20s, like between 20 and 30, and you was a
He
bit of a
can't
lad?
remember.
Hold on. Yes, he can. Yes, he
That's
can.
too difficult.
And you was a bit of a lad, and did you used to run? Did you used to do the Baywatch thing, Johnny, where you run on with you run onto the beach with your fucking surfboard and shit?
Gazza, I can tell you one thing.
Go on.
When I got out of the army, I had a real attitude problem, and I wasn't user friendly. Put it that way.
Okay.
And it took a little while to, get back into reality, if there's ever been one. I was never a beach bum.
Did the army? It's funny that you say that. Did the army? I don't mean to change the subject, but did the army have an influence mentally on you?
Oh, fuck yeah.
And did that change the way you behaved?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Do you mind talking about that? Because I'm interested.
Probably why he's such a hard cat.
I'm not really interested in talking about it because there were some pretty dark days there, Gazza, when I used to just fucking... I just wanted to kill cunts,
Did you see some shit? Hold on. Did you see some shit? Like proper fucking,
Well, part of my service, and when I went overseas, was to bring stuff home. Now, mind you, you had weapons, but under the guidelines of everything, they wouldn't give you any bullets. And I'm not saying every situation was fucking fantastic. No one was going, oh, you're a hero, you're fucking wonderful. You got called every fucking thing because I had a uniform. There were situations where we got ourselves out of, and I'm not saying just because they didn't issue you with your ammunition, it was fucking laying around all over the ground everywhere. But the whole part about it is there were situations and stuff that we did that some of it I'm not fucking proud of.
Okay.
And if you look at the whole deal of the whole thing, people fought and died for the geology that wanted to take over more land. And under the guise, the same as, it's a police action, and that's what it was always called, a police action, the same as Korea, police action.
Did that mould you? Did that mould you as a person? Like, did you, not intentionally, but did it mould you?
I don't like cunts and bullshit. Simple as that.
So yes, it did. It moulded you, didn't it?
Oh well, I suppose that came from birth. My father was the same, and he never served, but he didn't put up with bullshit either. I've never been politically correct. I'll call a cunt a cunt. I don't care. Straight to their face.
It's just interesting.
And I don't care. I don't care how big they are either, or small,
I like
or
it
minuscule.
When people, if I ask a question that might be considered a bit personal, if the person answers honestly, which you do, you've always done, I look back and I look at that and I just think, well, yeah, the guy's not fucking bullshitting. That is the reason, one of the reasons anyway, as to why you turned out the kind of person that you fucking are today.
I'm quite proud of the person I
No, I
there's
don't mean that. I
times
don't
in-
mean that. I don't mean
No,
that in a.
But
you know,
the thing is, there was times in my life that I wasn't proud of, you know.
it's just interesting. I like it when people talk about certain things that you keep. You see, we've all got corridors, and down those corridors, there's doors that are locked, and no fucker will ever open those doors. Because if you start opening certain doors in the corridors of your mind, and you start opening them, that's when people start fucking thinking, "Fucking hell, I never knew that." And you just told me a little something about yourself in terms of there
I've
are.
said this. I've said this stuff before, but
I know, but there's instances in your life that you will never forget.
realistically, I've already forgotten it. You know, moved on for it. The whole part about it. The thing is, the transition from was right. What am I going to do as far as employment? And really, in this area, at the time when I came back home, the area was really under attack from corporate, realistically, corporate America. There was still a good amount of work around, plenty, you know, but I chose to go back home to a certain extent to the farm. And within a couple of weeks, the price of milk overnight dropped. And it was due to corporate takeovers of a lot of the milk factories and things like that. Well, I was totally against that. And there was a lot of, in this area, there were, you know, which is a large rural area, a low power stations, all that. There was a lot of people all pissed off. And we withheld milk. In other words, saying, don't send your tankers out because we've got none. And then the government saying, oh, you have to under this act and that act, and we'll send the army in.
You got to do that, yeah.
We'll send the army in to milk your cows. Well, fucking good on yous, because it's not worth us milking them. Go fuck yourselves, you know. We did blockades of towns and God knows what. And I will admit that I had a lot to do with different stuff and very outspoken in it.
I found it interesting. I found it interesting back in the day when, if we can go back, let's go back 2 years, right?
2 years ago.
Yeah, let's go back. So COVID was rife.
No, it was more than 2 years ago, Gaz. It was about...
Well, roughly. I'm not giving an exact date.
Yeah.
I'm just hypothetically, like. But anyway.
Righto.
So let's go back to then. Now, there was a lot going on in this community at the time. People couldn't get out. People couldn't do. And these are people from different walks of life, all suffering the same shit. And it was interesting to see what was being typed in the chat in them days. Because in them days, I was seeing people saying, have you had your booster yet? Have you had your third shot? Have you had your 27th shot? How many boosters have you had? And all this shit. And I was sitting back in my chair, Johnny. And I was thinking, well, this is really interesting. Because I'm sitting here thinking, well, I haven't had a single fucking shot or a single fucking booster. How about them fucking apples? And the reason why, the reason why is because it's a bit like when I was at school, when the teachers tried to tell you what to do. And they try to tell you how you are going to behave. And then the government step in and say, this is what you're going to do. This is how you are going to behave. And I was like, no, it's not happening here, because I ain't going to do jack fucking shit, mate. You can keep talking the big talk, about fucking, oh, we got this massive shit going on. Oh no, it's scary. We've put arrows outside the supermarket now where you have to go in queues and shit. And I'm like, no, this ain't happening for me personally. Because the way I looked at it as an outsider looking in, I thought, well, I'll do what I want to do, but the rest of the population can do what they want to fucking do. And that's the way I did it to this day. That's me.
Well, we Gaza here. It's one of Pit Boss's most played statements that I made when it all started off.
Go on.
And that statement was, in a lot of different genres and all the rest of it, there's some cunts. Because that's just the way they are. They just want to be cunts and piss on everything. But now that there's COVIDs, the cunts have become more cuntish. But here, where Dale and I and all that, and quite a few of us, where we live, we're the most locked down place in the fucking world. Virtually, if you went off your property and you weren't jabbed, they'd fucking just about throw you in jail.
It was horrible in Australia at the time. I remember that. There was more than one person talking about it, and they were fucking... Yeah, I remember that, actually. You're right.
And social media, with governments and social media, if you spoke out about it, next thing you'd have a policeman knocking on your door saying, need to take that post down or we'll arrest you. All that kind of shit. I had that happen a couple of times.
So do you think... Here's a good question for you, Johnny. And this is a really good question, actually. Do you think it's down to the individual themselves to work out... Now, when all that shit was going on, is it fair to say that it's down to the individual themselves mentally to think, oh, do I go bah, bah, like a fucking sheep and just follow the flow of what everyone else is doing? Or do I stand on my own 2 feet and think, you know what? Fuck you. I'll do what I want to do. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question back at that before I answer. Sense and sensibility. Does everybody have sense and sensibility?
Depends what you've been through.
Well, as we know, the younger generations haven't got sense and sensibility. So if we go to each person makes their own decision, which in a way everybody did, based upon the information they were given, which was all bullshit. We were fucking lied to. Now, COVID was said it's that dangerous, it'll jump out of the air and fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Well, my wife works at a nursing home, old age care. Daughter does a bit of, she's studying, but she works part-time at a restaurant thing. Now, after all this time, they got COVID. So they're thinking, oh, well, shit, what's going to happen here? Well, it was simple. They kind of locked themselves in a room, and if they come out, I'd kind of go outside while they were cooking food, and they wore a mask and all that kind of shit. I never got COVID. It didn't jump out off fucking leaves of trees and strangle me and all that like we were told it was going to.
Yeah. It's in the air. You can't breathe. You have to wear a mask because if you breathe the air, you're going to catch it.
Well, I never even wore a mask in my own fucking house. They did to protect me, but I didn't. I said, well, if I'm going to get it and I die, I die. Fucking who cares? Get fucked. I don't care.
It's just strange, Johnny, because for me, personally, when I look back on all that stuff, I think to myself, and I look at the way people reacted, and it's like pack mentality. It's like, well, if they're doing that, then I have to do it because they're
Well,
doing it.
yeah, if you were getting murdered outside of my place right now and I rang the coppers, they'd probably turn up tomorrow. But they were arresting people for putting their fucking bins out at 2 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
because they were off their property, not wearing a mask and all this shit.
You see, now we could get controversial. Now we could get really controversial, and I don't mind bringing it up. I don't mind. Now, back in the day, there was people that were dying, and the relatives of the family wanted to pay their respects
Weren't allowed
to their loved ones, but they were not allowed to pay their respects to the people that brought them up, i.e. mums and dads. So the mums and dads that were dying back in the COVID days, people wanted to turn up and pay because they were grieving, man. They were fucking grieving so bad, but they were told, no, you're not allowed to do that. So they weren't allowed to pour their fucking grief out, Johnny.
That's right. But the thing is, that was because of our premier, or actually the fuckwits that voted for him, premier, Adolf's his name. May as well be a little Hitler cunt, lying fucking piece of shit bastard fucking thing he is. But the whole part about it is, that's why a lot of people got put on ice for a long, long time. And I had friends that it was only close family, only a certain amount of people, but that's when live streaming funerals and all that was, first, really came into play. It's not the same as being there. Because the other part about it, you catch up with other people that you know as well, and but I'm not a big thing on, funerals don't do a lot for me. I know there's one I'm never going to miss because it'll be mine.
Yeah, but Johnny, on your headstone it'll read, "Told you I was ill."
No, actually, if I won't be having it.
Do you know where that comes from, Gaza?
No, I don't actually.
It's from Spike Milligan.
Ah, didn't Spike Milligan have that on his headstone?
Good night,
yeah.
Good night, Dowlo. Catch you, mate.
I told you, that's literal. He had it on his gravestone. I told you I was ill.
Dowlo. I don't know who Dowlo is. I'm familiar with the name, but I'm not too sure who the guy is. But...
Oh, he's been around for a long time. Actually, he's just down the road from me. Hell of a nice bloke.
Is he a good guy? Yeah.
Yeah, hell of a nice bloke. Yeah, good guy.
Good.
His wife's Thai. They've got a bit of real estate around. And that's from good management and stuff like that. But
nice.
He's going over next week or the week after to Thailand. His wife went a couple of weeks earlier than he.
Can I say something, Johnny? Because I've just thought of something. I've just thought of something really pertinent that I need to speak about. Because it's just come into my head and I need to bring it up. When I was live the other night, and we had some people on the panel.
Yeah.
Somebody was having a go at you in particular, and that person said some comments about you, and I couldn't get a word in because they were saying, "Stop interrupting while I'm talking. Stop interrupting while I'm talking." Blah, blah, and I couldn't get a fucking word in.
Yeah, that's okay. That was okay.
But the main point that I got from that was this. That guy was trying to tell everybody that you haven't got a pot to piss in. Now, if that is the case, So I'll say it now on your channel if you don't mind. If
Go
that is
for
the
it.
if that is the case,
G'day, Seven.
then what we've been doing recently, we've been watching Johnny Siam build the most amazing fucking stuff. It's just fucking, it's great. I love it. And I love watching it from start to finish. So we're seeing this guy who hasn't got a pot to piss in, by the way, building something. And this costs money, not just a few quid, it's thousands and thousands of pounds. This is an expensive venture, what Johnny's going through, because that's what he wants to do. Now, what makes me laugh is when other people point the finger at you and say you haven't got a pot to piss in, Johnny. What do you think about them apples, mate? What's
Well,
going on there?
Well, the whole part about with, you know, that little insecure maggot that's got a problem with reality,
7 AD.
and fed by other fools that are just as bad. It really makes them jealous. It really makes them jealous. So, as although the only weapon they can kind of use is to try and degrade somebody, or you know, and that's been their whole thing, because they are so insecure. But just because they live in their council flats and their little rented properties and whatever, well, the whole part about it is this crappy little place that was referred to is not so much a crappy little place. And for that construction going on up the road, that's why I just laugh at him, Gazza. That's why I laugh at him, because the proof's there. They can't show the proof.
I think, Johnny, if I can intervene just for a second, I think the icing on the cake, Johnny, was when you showed what's going on. Who's that making? Is that you, Mr. Perrin? So
Yeah. Anyhow, that's
It wasn't
right.
me, but it was the family. Sorry, I'll mute.
No, it's all good. It's just that when we're talking, listen, I'm not. It's just that
Gazza gets distracted at a fart.
No, I can't.
on,
Yes,
go ahead.
I do actually, I do. But the thing is, I see him showing stuff. I see him doing stuff. I see a guy that's been around this community for too many fucking years, Johnny. I'm sorry, mate, too many years. In fact, Johnny, it's time to take a back seat. Just fucking sit down and start fucking lurking, mate. But no. But, but the funny thing is, when people have a go at you, when we see what is actually happening, it flaws their argument is flawed beyond belief. It makes them look, because you're trying to portray other people and say, well, this guy's got fuck all. He's a nobody. He's this, he's that. When in reality, he's not a fucking nobody. But you're trying to portray that to the masses. And when you do that, what actually occurs is it doesn't look good in the long run when it turns out that this guy's got a few quid. And I'm
Turn
talking
your
about
camera off, Stephen.
I'm talking about Mr. Siam.
G'day, how you going, gentlemen?
G'day, Steve. Yeah, the one thing
better?
about
Is that better, John?
that's perfect,
Volume and
mate.
shit?
Absolutely perfect. Gazza, that's why I laugh at the fools, you know.
Well, it's not that.
It comes down to jealousy,
The funny thing
and
you
that's the
said-
real part about it.
Johnny, you said yesterday, I found it quite amusing when you said, Gaza, I was listening to something, I was listening to something the other day, and I went to sleep with a smile on my face. And the funny thing was, when I woke up, I still had a big smile on my face, and I couldn't stop fucking. And I actually believe that I actually believe that. I don't think you said it for content. I think you said it because you actually meant it. You were
It was
actually
exactly right.
smiling when you woke up. You were
Yeah.
genuinely smiling when you woke up because it was funny.
Laughing at the fools, mate. Laughing at the fools, and that's the best content, or the best. I don't mind fishing and fucking around with them, if it gives a little bit of content to their pissant channels. That's fine.
Stephen Clark in the building. How you doing, Mr.
Yeah,
Yes,
mate, g'day, guys. How you
Clarky's
going?
here. Andy Bangkok, Esquire, is in the chat, Stephen.
I don't see
Yeah.
Esquire.
He's very boring, that
Sevens in
guy,
the
Andy,
chat.
isn't he? Very
Esquire?
boring, Andy.
I
We
don't
haven't
see-
changed
I
his
don't
name to
see
boring,
Esquire.
Andy.
I don't find Andy boring. I don't find
not at
Seven
all.
boring. Actually, I don't find anybody
Seven's-
boring because
I don't think Seven was boring. It was just you and Andy, wasn't it?
Oh no, Gazza
Were you
was
boring?
boring too.
Oh, Gaza was boring as well. Okay. All right. Got it
Yeah.
wrong there.
Now,
Well,
or
Gazza was always boring. It's his tone of voice
Okay.
I can't stand.
I don't
can't stand
remember.
listening to that guy's voice. He's fucking boring.
I
as
don't
fuck.
remember if it was your voice or you were drunk this week or you were boring, but it's the same stuff. They just recycle it.
Yeah.
It's like playing bingo. You wind the handle and one ball drops out. Oh, Gazza's boring this week. Hang on. Oh, next week. Oh, Gazza's boring. No,
Yeah,
hang on. We got that
I'd
number
like to,
twice.
if I may,
go for
Johnny,
it, go for it.
If I
Go
may,
for it,
Johnny,
mate.
I would like to ask Stephen a question.
Yeah, go on,
Go
mate.
for
Go
it.
on, you know what it is.
Stephen, first of all, welcome to the panel. Secondly,
G'day.
You bumped into somebody recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't need to elaborate on that, but what I would like to say is the guy that you was talking to, firstly, he's not backwards in coming forwards.
All right.
Let's get that straight.
Yep.
Secondly, he doesn't have. Yes, he does. He suffers. He admitted he suffers from depression, but that's
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's
does,
neither
yeah.
here nor there. But to attack a guy that is already suffering from that illness, and then to elaborate on that, just opens up a whole world of shit for that guy.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would somebody go to those extremes, Steve?
It's quite simple, guys. It's for views and it's for subscribers. And they'll go to any extreme, any fucking extreme, any extreme. They'll call you the P word. They'll call you whatever. They'll dox you. They'll whatever to get you upset, so you attack them back. And this all brings who is this guy they're talking about? Let's go over and have a look. Like Johnny said the other day, I wasn't going to say anything unless he got paid some money. And I'm going to go down that line. If you want me to talk about you, you're going to have to start paying me money to advertise your channel. You too, Gaz. You do the same thing.
Because Johnny came up with an interesting point the other day. Johnny said, if it wasn't for me saying what I said, I want 50% of everything you're earning. And I thought that was quite hilarious when Johnny
Well,
said
so did
that.
I. That's what
Yeah,
that's
it was
the line
quite-
I'm going down.
That's quite funny, Johnny.
Yeah.
So
Fucking
I
mate,
agree.
next time they're on, mate, get fucking crowdfunding of them. Fuck them.
Well, the whole part about it, if I'm providing, 3 parts of the content or half, I deserve the spoils. It's
Fucking hell.
common business, mate. It's common business.
Was actually a good move, actually.
and then the road they go down. Here's the funny part. The road they go down is the victim. Oh, he's this, he's that. He's on a different level to me. I'm on the upper echelons and he's on the lower fucking scheme. So blah blah fucking blah. Let's get. You see, the worst thing for these people is this. Truth fucking hurts, and every time a truthful word is spoken by more than one person, by the way.
Yep.
This is by many people. How long is it going to be before that person works out that a lot of people are saying the same fucking thing? So it gathers momentum. Fucking hell, You haven't got to be stupid to work out what's going on.
Gaz, you've been around a long time, so have I, so's Johnny. We've seen it all before. You know, it's just fucking textbook what they're doing now. You know.
Stephen, the worst guy you could ever attack, in my opinion, and this is just my personal opinion. If I'm wrong, then you can call me wrong. But it's a guy called Andy Bangkok Chit Chat. Now this guy,
Yeah.
this guy, in my opinion,
Andy hit the link. Come on, mate.
And he's in the audience, mate. He's in the
but
chat.
I know I see him there. But the thing is this, Steve.
Yeah.
For me personally, to attack
Yep.
a guy that's got a lot of, well, you can't refute. You can't. It's laughable how
Yes,
you
it
could
is, yeah.
attack how you could attack that kind of guy. Why would you attack that kind of guy? It's not even funny to me.
It's the same thing, mate. It's just for views and for fucking for subscribers, and that's all it's all about. And you know, they'll sell their own fucking children to do that.
And I don't understand why this guy, to me, I respect. And the reason why I respect Andy is because I'll sit back and if he came on the panel now, for example, I would just go quiet. I just want to listen
He
to what he's
can
got to
gather.
say.
He can gather.
Yes,
He only
he
has
can.
to
Come on,
click
Johnny.
the link.
Come on, Johnny. We'll attack him. Say some rotten things about him. Come on.
No,
That's how you
but
do
I
it.
would
That's textbook.
Steve, I'd just go quiet, mate, because this guy's got so many stories.
Yeah. I really don't think he deserved to be spoken.
And I'll tell you
something
something else that nobody's aware of. If you gave Andy a platform, which he had, he hasn't said half of what he could say. Now he could tell you stories that would curl your fucking Jesus.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, guys.
He's got some funny fucking stories over the years, and while he's still on the planet, Andy, if you're listening, I would like to hear some of those stories, mate. I'm not joking. I really would.
Oh, Gaz, are you saying Andy's old?
Yep.
Well, are you talking like he's died or something? Or
No,
one
he's
foot
got.
in the
Listen,
fucking hole.
that guy has got more stories than anyone else could even dream. Like, he could tell you stories about when he first landed in Thailand back in the day.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And the funny things he went through. But the reason why he doesn't is because of the attacks that he's had and continues to get, because apparently he's an uneducated guy that has no input whatsoever in this community. How funny is that?
Well, yeah.
Well,
Like I said, Gazza, he you know, fair enough, have a little bit of an argument with the guy, but there was no need for him to talk to him like that. There was no need for that guy to speak to Andy like that. And Andy didn't deserve all that shit. He really didn't.
well,
But anyway,
it just
Andy doesn't need me sticking up. He can stick up for himself.
I know he can, but at the end of the day, it really showed the caliber of the person that was doing that, of how insecure and jealous of what anybody or everybody else is doing. He is even like Ben Newton is slumming around the world having fun, while others is working there, or supposedly working or doing whatever. It's hard to remember what the truth was that he told on whatever day. But, the whole part about it is people live their own lives. They're not up to ridicule to an obnoxious little weed.
It's just interesting how people think, well, I'm allowed to cast aspersions on people. I'm allowed
G'day, Jeremiah. Welcome.
to say
G'day,
this
Jeremiah.
and say that, and I can do that because people listen. Well, let's get one thing straight. Yes, they may listen, but do they agree with you? That's the bigger question.
Well,
I watched some insulting and disgusting things said to Blue Topaz, who actually turned it around and took the piss out of the guy. Next thing I see him attacking Johnny and it's I am and Andy Chit Chat, and it's I really got nothing against the guy, but once you see shit like that, I mean, I don't want nothing to do with him anymore.
And Steve, can I
Yeah,
dip
sure, mate.
into
Go
your
on.
can I dip into your psyche just for a second?
Yeah, go on.
When you was growing up, Steve, I would say that I'm not. I'm just asking you because I'm not. Obviously, I don't
No,
know.
it's gone, mate. Go on.
When you was growing up, a bit similar to myself, like your mum and dad brought you up in a certain way, as in,
Yep.
how do you respect people and how do you
Yeah.
treat people? Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
So the question, so the bigger question is this: the way I was brought up by my parents was this: you need to show respect to your elders. It's just an
Yeah, I know.
unspoken thing.
Yep.
You just automatically respect
Yep.
certain, even if they're going
Yes.
against you. Do not attack them because
That's right.
it's the thing that it's a unspoken thing, but there are certain areas of this community where you can see about their upbringing and the way their parents brought them up, which is completely opposite to how we were brought up. And I'll leave it
Well,
at that.
obviously, Gazza, they've been dragged up, not brought up. You have respect for your elders. I mean, we were all taught that. I think Johnny was, maybe Steve Perrin was, and you were. Always respect your elders, because they're old people. They know better than you do. And have respect for them. Don't degrade them and shit. And sometimes they aren't right. That's fair enough. But you have respect for them. And what have you got on fucking YouTube now? I'm going to punch your fucking head in. Oh, for fuck's sake. You got a 5 foot fucking 2 midget telling this 6 foot old dude he's going to fucking punch your head. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh. Jeez, you'd fucking in with a fucking fly swatter.
And if we bring up a controversial thing like Steve Perry, now what happened to Steve? Hold on, what happened to Steve was fucking atrocious. Now,
What happened to him?
hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, go on.
So what happened to Steve was what happened. It had already happened to me, but then they moved. Then they moved on to Steve, and once they moved on to Steve, they started showing stuff and they started doing. And the thing is, this: you're attacking guys that are fucking. These people, in my opinion. You have to have some kind of respect. And if you weren't brought up that way, what does that say about you?
Well, for a start, you're not very well educated, and you might pretend you are. You've been dragged up, not brought up, and it's fucking disgusting. It really is. It really is disgusting. But what can you do? What I do, Gaz, I just ignore them. I don't even fucking bite. Couldn't be fucked. You can fight with them, Gaz. You can fight your head off and go for them and shit, but they're just going to come back tomorrow. So why fucking bother even fucking answering them? I just don't bother anymore. Don't even fucking.
Stephen,
Steve,
you've changed dramatically. You really do understand it now. You
No,
did
I
use the bite.
Yeah. I understood it all the time, Steve, but sometimes it got out of control, and any normal human being will fight back. It just got out of control there for a while, but yeah. And I fucking went to.
And Gazza, look, I don't think I was attacked anywhere 1% compared to how you were attacked.
Actually, you got it pretty bad. You got it pretty bad. You actually got it pretty bad, Steve. I saw it.
Maybe I missed it, but I don't. It didn't really bother me.
No, you got it pretty bad.
I was pissed off that you got these idiots have it. Gazza, let me explain very quickly. There are so many worse photos of me on YouTube, on my wife's Facebook account, where I do look really ill, unshaven, pathetic, sad old man. They took the photos.
Steve, stop laughing.
Let me finish. They showed the photos of my wife and child. So all I can think from that is they're
No,
wanking
it's
off
horrible.
the
It's fucking
photos.
horrible, mate. It's fucking horrible,
They're
mate.
banking
no,
off
that's
the
not nice.
photos of my wife and child. That's what pissed me off.
And what
And
they'll
I'm
do, they
I'm
will,
angry.
they will.
Let me finish, Gaza. Gaza, shut the
Go on.
fuck up.
Go on, go
I'm
on.
angry because I got annoyed and did exactly what you do, and I got angry with them. That gave them more ammunition, more than. Look, if you're on YouTube, it's public. Can't really moan about it. And I've got an echo. But look, no, I was pissed off for about a week. Then I thought, oh fuck them.
Steve,
They're
turn off
cunts.
YouTube. Turn off YouTube, Steve.
I don't think it
I
was
haven't-
me.
it's
is
not
it?
me. It's not me. It's not me.
No, we get
I
no
don't
echo
think-
here. I'm getting no echo.
It's not
Okay,
me.
Can you hear echoes, Johnny?
No.
All right.
No, there's no echo now. No echo now.
Yeah.
Would you take your finger out your fucking ear, did you?
Yeah.
There's no echo.
Gaza, look, fuck, I forgot this. I've been wanting to say this to you for weeks. Very often you say, why me? Why they do that? They do it, or what did you often say, what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
Gaza, you did nothing to deserve this.
Well, I did fuck all.
They
I did fuck
are
all.
just cunts. You didn't do anything to deserve it. They're just cunts. You don't need to go any further into it. You don't feel like you're being picked on because, well, what did I do? No, you did nothing. Don't worry about it.
Do you know the
hate
biggest
it when
issue
you
I
say
have?
that.
I'll tell you.
What
I'll
did I
tell-
do?
Hold on.
Go
The
on.
biggest issue I have is when soldiers of other people, in other words,
Right.
people that suck up to others, go
Yeah.
live. Now, I won't mention names, but we all know who it is. People that go live and suck up to others and say, Gaza says this, Gaza says that. He says I was responsible for that. Let's get one thing fucking straight. I know for a fact, because I've been sent the fucking receipts about how photographs was passed around in Discord, and these guys, as much as they want to deny it, listen carefully, as much as they want to deny it, they were in the Discord. So
Oh, yeah.
as much as they want to deny it, they saw those photos, and what did they do? They did fuck all. They did
Gaza,
nothing.
the whole part about it, discord or disregard, where they think they've got a little group. The one thing I don't like about Discord is any fucking group, you can just bring them up and see everything that everybody's written
Yep.
and whatever. It's
Yep.
not. It's not a closed platform.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Johnny.
Now, DWP, I just want to address you for a moment. I'm going to have a word to Simon. The one reason I let Simon on the show, I don't mind Simon, because he has honestly said he's got nothing to do with the group. He's just producing what he classes as entertainment, as you know, and he doesn't lie about it. He'll kind of do what he wants to do to get a reaction. I kind of take my hat off to him because he's openly admitted it. I've never had any real problems with him. I know others have. So I'm going to ask him to refrain from attacking you on this channel, because like my banner says, treat others like you'd like to be
No,
treated.
he doesn't attack. Who's he
Oh,
attacking?
he has a bit of a go at DWP. If Simon doesn't want to respect those rules, well, Simon will be gone.
He does do that. He does do that. Yeah.
Simon will be gone. So I'll handle that, mate. Now, a little note to Gaza and Mr. Perrin. When you get a brilliant thought, write it down so that you can remember it.
Ah, you funny cunt. You funny cunt. Do you know you're a funny cunt? He's the
He is a
funniest
funny
cunt.
cunt, isn't he?
Johnny Siam is the funniest cunt in the whole fucking
But
community.
no,
He says
what
things
gets
that
me
are
though, what
he
gets
says
me
things
is
that are fucking funny shit, man. It's fucking funny.
he only used to say that to Avery. Now you and I have come into his sights. He's getting
No,
us
but
with the
you see,
same
the thing is with
bullet.
me,
If
Mr. Perrin. The thing is with me.
no worries, DWP. Go ahead.
Let me delve deeper into
Delve deeper
into
into
the
the cauldron of
into the
iniquity.
cauldron of iniquity. Now, here's where we get deeper now. So I want you to, and I'm gonna say this now. So we all have a mind. Now, in our mind, we have corridors.
You said
As
that.
we walk along those corridors, we see doors with labels on them, and we see names on those doors. But we look at the names and we think, no, I'm not opening that fucking door. And then we'll go to the next one and we'll go, nope, I'm not opening that one. But occasionally we'll keep walking and we'll see a name and go, yeah, fuck it. I'm opening this fucking door. So you walk into that corridor of your mind, the door opens, and suddenly you're live. Everyone's listening, and you're thinking, here we go. I'm gonna tell it like it is. Fuck it. Because I'm angry. I've got to do it. And then when you do that, you are opening up a big can of worms because you've just opened up a door that you didn't want to fucking open. And that, unfortunately, is what we all do. And it's because we have we all have feelings of anger and resentment towards certain individuals because they antagonize you. They want you to respond. That's the key word. They want you to respond. So when they go live, they'll say certain things hoping that you respond. So when you respond, they got what they asked for. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, Gazza, you just reminded me of when you're walking down the corridor. You reminded me of the old song Shakin' Stevens about the green door. And then as you went further into it, then you reminded me of knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, knocking on heaven's door, Guns N' Roses, Guns N' Roses. Yeah, but getting back to Shakin' Stevens, do you know what I found was really funny about Shakin' Stevens?
He was taking the piss out of Elvis.
Yes, he did think that he had this way about him where he thought, I've got this thing about me and I can do this. And he did have a good swing of the hips, I'll give him that. But that was all he had. No, it was all right. It was all right.
Gentlemen, can I backtrack a little bit?
Go for it, Stephen.
Can I backtrack a little bit to what's in your mind? You've all seen the movie Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Where Hannibal Lecter was the evil guy. The next one on from that is either Red Dragon or Hannibal.
Go on.
But he is so clever because you were talking about avenues in your mind, and Hannibal is so phenomenally clever that he can walk inside his mind to look at libraries and museums. So he's in jail. God, I'm echoing, aren't I? Why am I echoing? I got nothing on here at all.
I don't hear you echoing.
All right.
Probably the plate in your head, Steve.
No, that's the. It's not. It's the
Gaz,
foil
honestly,
hat.
if you've not read
Got a
it,
foil hat on, has he?
no, not read it.
Mr. Perrin, I've seen every single movie. What you're talking about?
Have you read the book?
Have you ever read Christine?
No, don't ask me another question.
Stephen
when I ask
King,
you a
read the
question.
book, Christine, and
Don't
then we'll
ask me a
and
question.
then we'll talk again. Then we'll talk again.
No. Look, I'm not criticising you. I'm just saying the book. I'm not saying that you read less than me or whatever. I'm not going that way at all.
No,
But
I
the
know.
The book describes how he's in jail, but he has such a brilliant brain that he consoles himself
Anthony Hopkins.
by...
The reason why they
by
chose
what-
Anthony
All
Hopkins
right, you
to play
talk.
that.
Okay.
No,
Fuck
the reason.
me. All right,
the
now you
reason why-
talk. If
the
you don't want
reason
to
why-
listen to me, it's all right.
Fucking hell, Steve, calm down. The reason why they chose Anthony Hopkins to play that part was because he had a way about him where he could portray himself in that more than one movie. That he there was no other guy that could play it apart from him. He did it perfectly, Steve. And the point you're trying to make is, no, I tell you what, I'm sorry for butting in. Go on, Steve. I'm going to let Steve speak.
No, he's got a salt.
Okay. I never. Well, yeah, look, I am a bit of a stalker. Okay. It's one of my weaknesses. And it's quite good because my wife is totally the opposite. If we have a fight, she forgets about it next day. She forgets what happened. I have to explain to her what we were fighting about. Anyway, where were we? Right.
Where was we? You see, he just said it. He said, "Where were we? Where were we?" Fuck me, Steve.
I was trying to explain to you. I was trying to add to your comment.
Go on,
You
Steve.
were talking about what goes on in your head.
Nah, Steve.
And I was
fucking
trying
go.
to say
I love
that
it.
the best example of that was Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
And if you read the book, and it's either Red Dragon or Hannibal,
Yes.
Hannibal
there's
Returns.
there's a whole chapter where he's in jail and he's just wandering around museums because he's got a photographic memory and he's just walking around and looking at photos. So jail for him is nothing. He can still go to all the places he's ever been to in the world. And I thought that was joyful.
What do you think about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? What do you think about that?
Probably Gaza. Probably my most favourite book I ever read, and it's in the top 5 movies I ever saw.
Only thing I've got to say about that Gaza is, here's Johnny.
And
What do you think of it, Gaza?
What do you think about the movie The Shining? How does that?
I've
Could you
never seen
talk
it.
about that?
I've
You've
never
never
seen it.
seen the movie The Shining?
No.
Well, can I say something to you? Take time out, sit down on your own, and watch the movie The
Yeah.
Shining. Just do
Right,
it.
firstly, Gaza, let's get back to the subject. What did you think of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
The
Nest?
best part, the best part in the whole movie is when he's sitting in the middle of a big fucking place and he's typing, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." I fucking love that segment of the movie. And the reason why is that has bigger meaning than anyone will ever understand. Because he's trying to say, no fucker's got a clue what I'm talking about apart from me. So I know what's
Let me
going
give you
on.
my best part. The best part for me was when Murphy realizes that he's the only one that's in prison there. Everybody else has been voluntarily put into the mental hospital. He's the only one that has to be there.
And his wife walks.
That is just joyful.
His wife walks up to him and she says, she looks at, and he's been typing this over and over again for hours and hours and hours. The reason why he does that is because only he understands what's going on in his head, because no other cunt has got a fucking clue. And with that, I'm going to the toilet. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Thank Christ for that. I thought he was never
Oh,
going to
that
shut
was
up.
very nice.
I know he's still. I know he's still listening.
I was just gonna ask Gazza about his take on E.T. You know, if he's still got the bicycle and his little basket.
Never seen that either. I've never seen it.
Oh well, that was a good movie. It was a feel-good movie.
I honestly
Steve.
don't think I've ever seen the whole movie of Jaws. I know everybody loves it.
Jaws. I like the bit when they say, "I think we need a bigger boat."
Yeah, Johnny, exactly. But there's so much boring stuff in it. I watch it and it's boring. That's about the only bit in it which is exciting. And no, I've never watched all of Jaws. There's a number of movies I've watched countless times, but I've never watched all of Jaws. I've watched Star Wars, the first one, 30 times. Maybe more.
Oh dear!
I've never watched.
You had a fixation with Princess Leia. That's why.
No. I had children that loved it, and I did see it in the cinema, where it was so busy that I had my two children to the left of me in the seats, and I sat on the stairs to watch it. And when good things happened, it was like Saturday morning pictures. When great things, it was probably the best movie experience I've ever had. It was fantastic.
I think.
And then we got it on video, and I would guess my children could give you all the dialogue. Oh, I say 20 times. I saw it 20 times. I guess they saw it 100 times.
I think my probably two favourite movies. No, so three. Not necessarily in the order of, but the three favourite movies.
Right, that's a good question. Yeah.
Is Roadhouse.
Good movie.
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Another one.
Sneezing.
What's
Sorry,
the other
excuse
two?
me.
What's the other two,
Sneezing, I know,
Johnny?
I've never watched sneezing.
What's the other
Yeah,
two,
but-
Johnny?
Christine.
Brilliant movie, man.
That's the car, isn't it? The car.
But by the
Yes.
way, Johnny, before you carry on,
Yeah.
you know that later this year, they're actually doing a remake authorised by Stephen King himself. They are doing a remake of Christine. Now, when that happens, I want to see, because it's going to be technology that we've never seen before.
It won't be as good, Gazza. Won't be as good.
Well, we'll see.
Because they portray it that way, we all have greater expectations and we're bound for disappointment. And the other movie I liked was Flashdance.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
What did you think of Carrie?
I've got
No,
a...
Carrie.
No,
The best part of Carrie. Hold on. The best part of Carrie
No.
is when
Guys,
she's
just do
standing
your
in the.
three.
Hold on. When she's standing in the hall, and she looks at everybody after she got covered in blood, because some cunt decided to take the piss because they thought it was hilarious because she had her prom outfit on. She'd never been out in her life. She was a Christian woman. She'd never fucking gone anywhere. And some funny cunts thought it was funny to take the piss out of her. So what she did was she stood on stage. She looked at everybody and she just went, she opened her eyes and she closed all the doors. And the next thing you know, hold on,
Up
the
come the
next thing you
flames.
know,
We've all
they're
seen
all
it.
screaming to
Gaza,
get out the
we've all
fucking
seen
place. But they can't get out the fucking place, Mr. Perrin. And you know why? Because those are the same people that wanted to see her downfall, and she
We know.
fucking let them all know
We
that
all
she's
seen
going to
it.
let them know about the cunts that those people are, Mr. Perrin.
Right, Gaza.
So, in other
Do
words,
the
we're not going to
same
call
as-
Gaza
do the
Gaza
same-
anymore. We're going to call him Carrie.
Right, Gaza. You have to go before me because I love this subject. I've got my 3 lined up. Go for your 3.
I can't do it.
Well,
Yours you can.
you've started it,
Come
Gaza.
on.
You started off with
Yeah.
Carrie.
Okay, number 1. I'm only going to give you the number 1 film. I'm
No,
going to give you.
no,
I'll give you. No,
no,
I'll
I
give
want
you my
3.
number 1, but I won't give you 2
want
and 3.
3.
So my number 1 film is The Breakfast Club. Film called The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've not seen it.
Nah, it's The Breakfast Club. And the reason why is because you get a bully, a posh kid, a poor kid, a shy kid. You get
Right.
all different types of society in the same movie. And by the way, people aren't aware of this, but that movie was filmed entirely in a classroom, in an actual classroom. The whole movie. So
Okay.
we see different parts of society coming together. And the best part is when they're all together having a chat. So you got your posh kid, your poor kid, your fucking every different part of society, and they're all looking at each other talking. And I
Right.
just loved that part of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because no one else has ever touched on that. It's just fucking brilliant the way it was done.
I'll give it. And it's not just you guys that I've heard many film critics and people who know more about it than I do say that it's a great movie.
Oh, it's
okay.
up there. It's up there. It's up there. It's a classic.
That's
Fucking
number
classic.
1. We want number 2.
No,
and
I'm
number
not
3.
saying 2 and 3. I'm not saying 2 and 3.
Well, you already have. Obviously,
on.
Carrie is in amongst it there, Gaza. Come on.
Well, the reason why Carrie, I'll tell you why I like Carrie, because I like the way she, under duress from the bullies, she opened her eyes and said, now you're going to pay for your misdemeanors. I fucking love that shit. That was just fucking amazing for me. I mean, I've never seen a movie where, apart from Christine, where the stupid guy buys a posh car, but the car starts talking to him, and the car starts saying, you're going to change from being a bit of an idiot to a geezer that no one's going to fuck with. And I did like that. I like that aspect of it. I did like that.
Well,
I don't know.
So
You-
we'll
you would
that
like
as- Gaza,
Roadhouse
we'll
Blues,
give you
then,
that
you
as
know.
number 2. What would be your number 3?
Ice cold,
I'm-
ice cold,
Gaza, believe
ice
me,
cold.
I'm
Here we
struggling.
go, here we go. Ice
Right.
Cold in Alex. Black and white movie.
Oh, yeah, with John Mills.
Ice Cold in Alex. What a
Oh.
fucking movie that was.
Jesus, sounds like a porno.
It does. It sounds real kinky, that
No.
one.
Google it. Ice Cold in Alex. Watch
It's
that
a
movie.
Brilliant movie.
Fucking brilliant movie that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's a
that
very old movie.
Actually,
It's
Gaza,
hard to
yeah.
explain, but it is
Johnny, what are you
Gaza.
saying, Johnny?
brilliant
go on.
choice.
No, it's
Well,
a good movie, man.
you know, like it's kind of that title is kind of reminding me of my ex-wife. You know, if you wanted to cool your cans down, you could put it between them titties. She was that fucking cold.
Yeah.
58.
Righto, move. What about Stephen?
had-
Stephen, your turn. Your turn, Mr. Clark.
Oh,
What's your three best?
I'd pick the ones that most sort of impacted you, that you remember. I suppose the best one, my favourite would have to be Raiders of the Lost Ark, because it was different in them days, and it was just a great movie. And there's Star Wars, the first Star Wars movies. They were just the special effects were out of control. I mean, they look shit now. And probably what else we got left? Probably
Princess
Jaws.
Leia fan.
George
Princess Leia
kept.
fan, yeah.
Yeah.
but
George kept me out of the
Clarky,
water for a fucking
Clarky.
year.
Clarky, you say Jaws. What was it about Jaws that inspired you? Was it the epic fucking music where it's
Oh, the
getting
fucking
closer?
start of it, Gaz. When
Gazza.
It was
Gazza.
pretty good. It was pretty good.
when it gets that fucking chicken runs it through the fucking water, that was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
No,
I
Gazza,
didn't fucking mate. I didn't shower
let's
for
just
fucking
cut to
2
the
years.
chase. What was Jaws about? Cunts with big mouths.
No. And you know, Johnny, the funny thing about Jaws was that guy, what's his name? The head guy. He did, but the worst part was when it got to Jaws 3, I think it was Jaws 3 or Jaws 4, you could tell it wasn't a real Jaws, and I was like, no, it's not working anymore. Stop it, it's not working.
No, I should have only had one Jaws, Gazza.
Yeah.
The
After
rest of them were
Jaw-
pretty fucked.
After Jaws 2, I never watched another one.
Yeah, I didn't. No, I
Okay,
didn't
question
know.
for all the panel. Here we go.
Oh,
And we'll start-
wait. Wait, stop. Can't I do mine?
Oh, sorry.
yes.
Oh,
Sorry,
I thought-
Mr. Perry.
I
Mr.
thought
Perry.
within your interactions with others, you were mentioning a lot of different
Mr. Perry.
movies. So
No.
you're up to 15. Right, what's your top three?
It's time for Mr. Perry. Go on.
Okay. Number 3 is going to be difficult. But number 1, The Magnificent Seven, the original one.
That's good.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Fucking brilliant.
absolutely
Fucking
love
brilliant.
it. I've watched it so many times.
Brilliant movie.
Number 2, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh, very good, very
Watched
good. Yeah.
all of it. Oh, dozens and dozens of times. Number 3, a Bogart movie, To Have and Have Not.
Oh,
Not so well known,
That
but
surprised
it's
me.
a brilliant
Surprised
movie.
me.
It's about a guy in Casablanca who's got the Nazis on one side and the resistance on the other. Oh, it's brilliant. All of those movies I've watched so many times. But thank you, gentlemen, for letting me have my 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
They're not
actually,
as,
Steve,
all my stories, all my movies aren't as meaningful as yours. But God, if you said we're just going to watch those 3 movies for the rest of my life, okay, I'll live with that.
I think The Sting was good. Remember The Sting, Steve? That was a good
Yeah,
one.
Oh,
that was good.
yeah.
That was good. That
Yeah,
was good.
movie,
it
yeah.
wasn't as good. No, it was like they were trying to play off Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Newman
Yeah,
and
yeah, of
Redford
course.
together. It wasn't as good. It was still good, and that's how they took on. What was the what's the movie? The 12 guys together. What's it called? Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's the same one.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, I know the one.
The
Yeah,
Sting was the first movie that worked out how to kid people on movies.
Yeah.
What's it called, Stephen?
12. Oh,
Uh,
12. Oh, I can't remember the fucking name. I know what you mean.
Oh, something 11. Something 11.
Ocean's 11?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Ocean's
it.
11. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I like that. I did like that. I did
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I've actually never watched that.
Well, Steve,
I've seen it,
take
but
some
it's
time out,
nowhere
Steve, and
near
watch
as
that-
good
watch
as
that,
the Sting, Stephen.
Steve, watch that
Yeah.
because you'll enjoy that. You'll enjoy that. Seriously, you'll enjoy that.
The Sting's better, Gaza, honestly.
But what's the
Sting is-
darkest? Here, what's the darkest movie you've watched?
Oh,
Oh, that's easy. The Exorcist.
Birds.
The original Exorcist.
Birds.
fucking-
Birds.
Yeah,
That
the
was
fucking birds,
Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock.
Mm.
No. It wasn't.
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock.
yeah, it was, yeah. Alfred Hitchcock.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Fucking
Someone
was.
Google it.
All right.
Gaza. It
If it-
fucking wasn't. The
All right.
Exorcist was not Alfred Hitchcock.
We're not
No,
talking
we're
about
talking
the
about the
Exorcist. We're
birds.
talking about the birds, you fucking idiot.
All right. I didn't know you didn't hear what I said.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The bird
Steve.
Oh
is.
dear.
Hey.
He's taking
Right.
the piss out of you, Jesse.
I agree. The Birds is a really scary movie because I don't like birds.
But what I want to ask everybody on the panel is, what's the darkest movie that scared you the most?
The Exorcist. That's what I answered.
Yes, Mr. Perrin.
Fuck.
You don't have to shout.
Fuck.
You don't have to shout.
Because
I can
All right,
hear you,
started
Steve.
talking about the
Steve,
birds.
I can hear you
Righto.
very clearly, Steve.
Mr.
But
Clark, what?
Johnny, what was your like something
Now-
that actually you watched it, and after you watched it, you went to bed, you lied down, and you thought, "Fucking hell, I didn't like that. That was
Now, this has brought a story into exactly what I'm going to say. My first house that I built, double story, and I had the idea in my head, put it on the paper, all plans, all that kind of stuff. And when I finished building the staircase, mind you, I built the staircase, but I stood back and I went, oh, fuck no. It looks exactly like the movie Amityville Horror.
Oh yeah.
And the house was next door to the
Ah,
cemetery.
it's funny that you're talking about that now, because I could let you into a little secret that I've never told anybody. Now, if I actually did this, you'd think I was a bit of a. You'd think, did you really do that? Yes, I did. You know, the guy that actually committed in real life, you know, the guy that actually did that, and still to this day claims he was innocent. Do you know that you could contact him via social media and speak to the guy? Did you know that?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so let me continue. So, I contacted the guy, and he responded to me. Now, that guy did some weird shit, man. And he tried to portray for over 10, 15 years that he never did it. But he walked around that house in the middle of the night with a gun. And he shot kids and adults. I think it was 5 people. So the point I'm trying to make is, I watched that shit. So I contacted that guy. And I got in touch with the guy. Because I knew how to contact him. I found out how to get in touch while he was still in prison. And I'm not making this up. And I said, you're trying to convince the public after 20 years that you didn't do it. Mate, there was nobody else there. It was you. It was you. You did it for the inheritance money. Because you thought you was going to get some inheritance. And I'm telling you, that's a fucking fact. And I'm not making that up either.
Well, you know, it's no different. His story, what happened or didn't happen in his mind, he feels, you know, sanctified in what happened, but he's done it as in the third party that I didn't do it. Something very, very similar to people on YouTube. It
No,
wasn't
he
me,
was-
it
he
was somebody
was-
else.
Johnny, he was swayed by, in his head, he was swayed by ulterior motives in terms of, there were things talking to me in my head that night. So I was told by something that was saying to me, you need to do this. So in his head, the general public needs to exonerate him because in his head, he thought, well, I was told these things. So as outsiders looking in, we need to look at that and think, oh, so because you were told that, you're exonerated now. We'll forgive you for that. No, that's not the way it fucking works. And he did
Well,
do that, Johnny. He did do that, Johnny. Trust me, he did it.
yeah, but there's been many a person that has used "I had a message from God" as a defence for crimes they've committed. I've had a message from God.
Let's
I'm
talk about the.
comfortable with what's been done. I'm a chosen one.
Let's talk about the Menendez murders. And if no one knows what I'm talking about, Google Menendez, spelled Menendez, Menendez murders, where these brothers murdered their parents because they wanted the. Listen to this. Because they wanted the inheritance of their parents. Now, if you get to a stage where you murder your own parents because you want the money from what you've done, how fucking sick and twisted are you to go into those territories? And you're on a road, and nobody can take you off that road. You're on it already because you fucking did it. And the Menendez brothers, they killed their parents. They killed their own fucking parents for the money. For the money. Think about that, Johnny.
Where did they come from?
America.
America. Are they related to Spoon?
Spoon, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm just wondering if they were related to Spoon.
But Spoon's probably listening. I know he's in the chat, but Spoon, you must be aware of the Menendez murders, right? Where they killed their parents because they wanted the money that their parents had so they could live a better life. Now,
That's been happening for centuries. Underlings that are educated and the parents push them that they think that they're better than whatever.
yeah.
The real part about it, when the fallacy falls apart, they just want to say, well, show us the money, and the easiest way is off with the parents, collect the inheritance, and live what they consider reality. Very predominant of a lot of false culture bullshit. You're gonna have to live with
Johnny, getting back down to basics.
Yeah.
What's happening now, Johnny? We are, in all fairness, we're living in a society today where, this is just my opinion, we're living in a society today where we see what's happening on social media. We see the content that people want to bring. We see the shock jocks doing, well, we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Can somebody top what I'm going to do? Because I'm about, like, a good example was what I said earlier. This geezer walked down an alleyway in fucking Thailand and got his, somebody put their hand down his pants and he got a 10% fucking semi. And when he tried to explain why, he said it was because somebody was touching my genitals and it was a sexual experience. So people are going to extremes just to show how things are changing today, Johnny, compared to how it was back in the day. So look at where we are going today. Look at the things people are willing to do just for content. It never used to be like that. Fuck's sake. What my question is, the bigger question is, what's going on now compared to how it used to be?
Well, you're right with content. If you go back to when bikinis first started to happen, and as we progressed through the years, the bikinis got smaller and smaller and smaller. So, there's a statement there of look at me, look at me. So that's been going on in history for, since day dot, I dare say. Look at me.
Johnny, that's am I muted or not? Hold on.
Go for it. No,
we can hear
you're
we
right.
can hear we can hear we
That's
can
not
hear.
Go for
100%
it.
right, because in the late 70s, 80s, I don't know what it was like in Australia, but in England, and certainly in France, because we started going, the English started going over to France and Spain in the 70s, 80s, early 80s. And there were many topless beaches. And I used to work in a place called Torquay, which was called the
Torquay.
the
I lived in
Torquay.
Torquay. I lived in Torquay.
Did you?
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
whereabouts? Whereabouts?
Babacom.
I know it. Oh, wow. Babacoom is one of the most beautiful places on this
Yes,
planet.
it's very nice. I lived there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll know you had topless beaches even in Torquay.
Yes, very nice area. Very nice area, man.
Yeah. So I don't think you're quite right there, Johnny. I don't think it's been. I think almost. I think the world has got worse. It's not like. I mean, it used to be great. I was working in Torquay. You walk the beachfront. All these girls showing their tits.
By
No problem.
the way, Mr. Perrin, I'll let you into a little secret.
Go on.
I spent many years in Babacom. Listen, I've got a history of all around the south coast, right? Like,
Okay.
fucking hell, I could tell you stories about areas that I lived for a long
Don't
time.
tell them, Gaza, because they'll only pull it back on you.
No, well, I'm
But
not gonna.
I had a house in Paynton, in between the two.
Ah,
Torquay and
Paynton.
Bristol.
I lived there. I was there. I was there. I was in Paynton.
Yeah.
I've been in
I
Paynton as well.
had-
Yeah. I've been in
I
Paynton.
had the most beautiful house I've ever owned.
Yeah.
And I overlooked, I could see all the way on the left-hand side to a place called Torbury. No, on the right-hand side, Torbury, and left-hand side, Thatcher's Rock. I could see the whole Torbay area. Beautiful. I was very lucky to find a house, very lucky to get it so cheap. It was the worst 2 years of my life because the children hated the fucking place. It was horrible. But it just shows you, doesn't matter how lovely your life looks, all depends on how happy the people are around you.
Okay. I've got to be honest.
Go on.
I've got to be honest. Now, I'll say this. I did spend about 4 or 5 years. I can't remember how long it was. 4, 5, 6 years, whatever. But I went round Paynton, Dorset. I was in Morton in the Marsh. Now, Google Morton in the Marsh. Now, Morton in the Marsh. I used to go there with my parents when I was a kid, which I've never told no one. I'm
Right.
just telling you. I'm bringing it up right.
Well, don't Gaza.
No, but I'm
stop
bringing it
giving
up.
in.
I'm bringing it up right now.
Alright.
I'm bringing it up right now. So I was in Morton in the Marsh. Now my granddad was familiar with people that lived in Morton in the Marsh, and it was a fucking nice place, man. And his history, my granddad's history, revolves around a lot of nice places in England. So
Okay.
I have a lot of English fucking history as far as the South Coast goes. I really
Excellent.
do. I
Did you
really
ever
do.
get to Did you ever get to Brixham?
Brixham in Dorset. Yes.
No, Devon. Devon.
No.
It's a bit.
Devon. Ah,
It's a fishing village. Just
I
a little bit.
worked. I actually got a
Go on.
job. I actually got a job somewhere in the South. Where was it? Where the fuck was I? And I was working for a. And what I did was I had a staple gun, and
Okay.
I used to staple the things that they put on the backs of tanks and shit. So where was it? I can't. I'm trying to. It'll come to me soon. So
Yeah,
anyway,
don't
I
worry.
got a job. I got a job, and I was clicking these things on, and it used to turn, and then you'd have to do it again, and then you'd
Right.
take it out the bag and you'd put it back on the thing. And I had a job doing that. Where was that? I'm trying to think, man. I can't think because my head's a bit.
Don't worry, guys.
screwed, man.
Look,
But yes,
we'll forget all
I
this
spent a
tomorrow.
lot of years. I spent a lot of years along the south coast, and
Yeah.
and my family took me.
Excellent.
My family took me to the south coast when I was a kid, so I have a lot of affinity when it comes to the south coast of the UK. It was just a nice time for me. It was all the people seemed to be nice people, and I never got attacked or anything like that. It was just fucking nice, man. And I have got a lot of history.
It's not that good. Look, you
I
all look
liked
at
it. I
things
quite
differently.
liked it. I quite liked it.
But compared to most of the country, it's pretty good. You still have horrendous things happen there, but comparatively, it's better than most places.
Yeah. You see, I travelled so many places. I don't talk too much about what I've done and shit because people think, oh, he's just making it up. No, I'm not. I've been everywhere, man. Fucking everywhere. And
I've been everywhere, man.
No,
I've
I
been
have.
everywhere. That's a song, isn't it? I don't know what the song is.
Br-
Avery, what's that song? I've been everywhere, man.
Breathe them
I've
out
been
in air, man.
everywhere, Steve. Steve, I'm not joking, mate. I've fucking been everywhere. And the funny thing is, when people start to realise I'm not making it up, like it's fucking true. Maybe they'll look back and go, you know what, this guy spoke his mind. He didn't. Hold on. Let me finish. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. He told the truth about a lot of everything he said. He fucking meant. And when my dad, listen, I'll say this now because I don't know how long I got fucking left actually. So the thing is this. As much as
Johnny's going to give you at least another 10 minutes. You're okay.
As much as I can say online, I will say right now, and the reason for that is because I want to get it out there so people think, well, at least he was honest and he never fucking lied, you know?
Yeah, but the whole thing,
I
Gazza,
don't
is
any... Go on.
the only time you're going to die is when it happens. Between now and then, if you dwell on what's wrong with you, instead of, bringing yourself above it and say, set goals. I'm doing that. I'm doing that.
And also, let me add to
Johnny,
this. Let me add
Johnny,
to
I'm at, Johnny, I'm at the
Gaza, let
I'm at
me
the
add to
end,
this.
Johnny. I'm at the end now, Johnny. Like
Gaza,
I'm gonna say,
My
I'm
microphone's
gonna
not
say
working.
everything I need to say.
let me fucking finish. Doesn't matter how many places you've been to. we don't judge you on that. We judge you on how you talk to us. We don't. I've traveled a lot, but I never bring that into conversation. Not important. I hope you judge me on what an idiot I am talking here or not an idiot. Doesn't matter, Gaza. You're never going to be judged on.
Google Rockley
I'm too
Sands.
drunk.
Google Rockley Sands in Dorset. I lived in Rockley Sands with my family. Rockley Sands,
Oh, yeah.
right? Now, I don't know if Rockley Sands is still there. It was close to Ferndown in Dorset, right? Now, Ferndown
Yeah, I
is
know
also a nice
down.
place. Yeah, Ferndown's
Yeah.
also a nice place. Now,
Yeah.
I travelled all along the South Coast. Listen, I'm not making this shit up, man. I used to. I live.
We know you're not. You don't need to prove it,
I
though.
know,
Gaza.
but I lived
Doesn't
everywhere. I
matter.
was all along the South Coast in fucking Dorset. I did it for fucking years because my family loved it. And the reason why is because before my granddad passed away, he used to take us there as kids, and we would all go to places in the south of England, and he loved. He was very proud man. He was a very proud man, my granddad, and you know, and I look at him, and yes, he's not here no more, but fuck it, I look back on my history, and I think, I'm really proud that I got to see those. I got Morton in the Marsh. Have you heard of Morton in the Marsh?
Yeah.
Now,
I've heard of it, but I
okay,
don't
so
know
Morton
it.
in the Marsh. Now, my granddad would love Morton in the Marsh. Now, if Bobby Crush is listening, he will say, yes, Gaza, I know Morton in the Marsh. Now, Morton in the Marsh is a fucking nice part of the UK that fucking, I went there. And I've been everywhere, man. I've been fucking everywhere. People don't believe
Gaza.
me. They think I'm making,
Gaza, we
no.
all believe you.
No. They think I'm making this shit up.
No,
they
we
think I'm
don't.
making this shit up.
Only the nasty girls say you're making it up. Honestly, we don't disbelieve you. We don't disbelieve
So
you.
I went
for
to
1
Morton in
second.
the Marsh. Now, Morton in the Marsh, you can Google Morton in the Marsh. It's a fucking nice part of southeast fucking England. But the thing is this. I've been fucking so many places, you wouldn't get your fucking breath. But these people that continue to slander me and say, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, you don't know what you're talking about. I fucking do. I've been fucking everywhere, man. And then I went on my own. And by the way, Steve, it was only when I went on. It was only when I went on my own that I realised I had to do my own shit. I had to do my own fucking shit. And once I started doing my own shit, I become a stronger person because it was just me doing it. It was just me then, and I realised, fucking hell, here we go. Now I've got to be. It's just me. No one's fucking helping me, man. It's just me.
Yeah.
So from then to this day, I've been doing my own thing, and that's the fucking truth, man.
Well, let's face it. When you get out of the womb, when you come out of the womb, you are suckled, you until you're weaned off, and then it's a learning proceed till you get some life skills, and then there's a foot put in the middle of your back and saying, "Fuck off, go and make a life for yourself."
Yeah.
And you know what, Johnny, the reason why how can I put this? There's certain people in this community that I like. Johnny's one, Steve's another. There's certain people that I like, people that have gone through shit. And you guys have gone through shit. So only when you can go through shit can you have the authority to go live and talk about what you've been through. These other guys that go live, they haven't done shit, mate. They done fuck all. These guys have done nothing. No, they've done nothing. But Johnny and you, Steve, and also others, I could name others. These guys have gone through fucking shit. Yeah.
Can I add to your conversation, Gaza?
Go on.
I think most men can go through one adversity. You know, you get divorced. That's okay. You can live through that. But then you're hit with you can't see your children. I'm not talking about me.
Are you bringing family into it? Are you bringing family into it?
And then the next one is you've lost your house and you're homeless.
No,
and the
it's
next,
not about that.
most men can. You're missing my point.
No, it's not about that.
Okay. You're missing my point. But okay.
Go on. Carry on.
Maybe I didn't explain it well enough.
No.
The problem is with
adversities.
the guys that are bullying you and getting angry with you, say, "Oh, Gaza, you should be able to put up with the shit that's going on in your life, and you should be able to grow some balls and just carry on and get a job and whatever." They haven't been through medical problems, divorce problems, children problems. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's a fucking, that's probably the best statement of the evening, Mr. Perrin.
But I'd go the other
I'm
way.
really pleased you understand what I'm
That's the
saying.
best statement of the evening. What Mr. Perrin just said was, these guys go live and they say, you see, I'm going to try and help this person. I'm going to give them a speech about what I've done and what I haven't done. And the reason why I do that is because I'm allowed to do that. But then when Mr. Perrin pops up and says what he just said, it ultimately affects your fucking...
Gaza, you're getting too fucking drunk again.
No.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm telling people about the honesty.
Gaza, I'm quite a philosopher.
The
I'm not as
honesty.
important.
I do like your honesty, Mr. Perrin.
Look, the problem is that most of the people having a go at you and me and Johnny and Andy and whatever are youngsters that haven't got to the stage yet where they wake up in the morning and they think, oh, what aches more now? They've got nowhere. They are so ridiculously stupid. And they haven't taken a piss out of me, you and... Sorry, Johnny. Carry on, mate.
No, I was just going to say the one rotten, the one rotten apple at the bottom of the barrel. His balls haven't dropped yet, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And maybe they never will because of the roids. But the real part about it is he feels very justified in planning out everybody else's life while his is really shit.
Yeah.
Living in his little council flat, projecting himself to be something that he's not.
If anybody in his gang or his crowd is listening, I guarantee I'll go on his channel with his moderators, his rules, whatever. I'll go through my life from 16 to what is he, 45?
I'll just
go through
his
my
body.
achievements.
Yeah.
I'll go through my achievements from 16 to 45, and I'll let his crew, his supporters, decide who's achieved most in those 30 odd years. Guarantee I'll win it.
I must admit, I'll tell you one that he achieved. He took the training wheels off his bike.
Exactly. Johnny, exactly. He has no idea how to live a life as a man, but he tries to judge us. Look. I have to accept he wins because he winds me up.
I love him.
question about
I
it.
love him. I love him. He's at the top of his game. You know,
But
at a rubbish
as
tip, there's always a
total-
smokestack where all the shit
as a-
comes out.
total idiot.
One thing I like about Johnny is this. And the one thing I really do like about Johnny is this. Johnny Siam, that is. And it's this. You see, when Johnny speaks, he doesn't say stuff because he's trying to attack people.
Gaza, you're pissed again. You take
Can I-
too long to
can
say
I-
it.
can
Go
I-
back to where you. No.
Am I allowed to finish?
Continue,
All right.
Gaza. Continue.
Am I
Continue.
allowed to
I'm
finish?
sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
The thing
I
about
apologise.
Johnny, the thing about Johnny is this. When he says things, people listen and think, hold on a minute. This guy is not backwards in coming. This guy is not backwards in coming forward. When he says shit, he's not saying it for effect or for content. He's saying it because he actually means what he fucking
All right, Gaza.
says.
Right, I understand what you're saying. Do you understand how much more sense you speak when you're sober?
He actually means what he says. What about you, Mr. Perrin?
Yeah,
Do you
you didn't-
do you sound
No,
like
oh,
you
yeah,
mean what you say? Do you sound like you mean what you say compared to Mr. Siam?
I hope so. I mean,
Well, good luck, good luck. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll all be quiet and
accept
listen to you.
criticism.
We'll all be quiet and listen to you.
Gaza, I've told you this many times before. You are so articulate, and clever when you're sober. And now you've got to the stage in the night where you're saying you're a drunken fool. And the
Oh.
problem is,
Really? Really?
yeah, oh, yes,
Johnny,
absolutely.
would you agree with that? Johnny, would you agree?
Gaza, I'm standing on the sidelines.
I'm asking Johnny a question.
What we're doing,
Okay.
what Mr. Perrin is probably saying here is constructive criticism. So, in other words, that was my way of saying I'm not getting into this fucking one.
Gaza, look, I hope you know I like you because obviously I always tune into your channel. I always love your channel. But come on, man. You give them so much fucking ammunition. You give the nasty girls so much ammunition when you're drunk. It's embarrassing. Stop getting too drunk. You are so clever and articulate when you're sober. You could kill all of them, but you don't. You get drunk and they come on and you let them rule your channel, and it's horrendous. I hate it. I hope you know I'm not having to go. I'm just saying, stop fucking drinking for a bit. Just have one night when you attack that. Oh, is he
Oh,
gone?
Gaz has dropped off. You obviously he feels insulted or whatever. But anyhow, the whole part
Johnny,
about it.
I hope you know.
No, hang
I
on,
wasn't-
no, hang on. I'm just
Go
going to. I'm just going to finish off. Gazza, none of us, are going to attack you or anything like that. Actually, support you.
No,
But the whole part about
absolutely.
it, at times, what I've even said, you need to take control because others, I know you want free speech or whatever, which ends up being a bloody 10 people all talking at once. Control, but no, thanks for coming along, Gazza. Thanks for coming along, mate.
Gaza, if you're still listening, I really wasn't having a go. I really love your channel. I think you're a really decent human being.
Yep.
I'm sorry if I upset you, but I just think you give the nasty girls too much ammunition when you're
I
pissed.
would, in honesty, I wouldn't really worry about them because it's a group of about what
Yeah,
the circle
yeah,
jerk
you're
of
right,
10
Johnny.
10 nasties that project themselves like they're something which realistically a collective group of failure. So anyhow,
Yeah, you're right.
moving right along, as in it's about that time of the night to say good night to everybody and thank everybody for coming along and supporting the channel and supporting the cause of a little bit of free chat. So we're back Wednesday night with trivia, and then after that we'll open panel, and maybe Friday, and I say maybe Friday. It depends on what mood I am on a Friday. Because if I'm in a bad mood from what's gone on from the week, I don't open up a stream and take it out on anybody else and have a bitch of an attitude. I'd rather be, happy and all the rest of it. But
Look, let me just say, Gaz, I'm sorry if I upset you. I didn't really
no, he's
mean
going
to.
live. Gaza whacked the
All
link
right.
in.
Oh, brilliant. Oh,
Half an
absolutely.
hour. Gaz is going live. Good on you, Gaz.
Johnny,
I'll jump on with. No worries, Steve. Hang on a minute. We'll jump on with you for a couple of ticks if you like, Gaz, and then I'm going to bed. Mr. Perry,
Johnny, thanks
once
for letting me
again,
on the
thank
panel.
you.
I've had so much fun you would not believe.
Well, that's good, and I hope your underpants enjoyed it.
Oh, wow. I'm
dear.
just looking for a good laundrette. But no, it's been great.
Nah,
I know I come over as a total idiot.
no.
I don't care. I've had a really good time. Thank you,
If you're-
Johnny.
If you've had fun and everybody else has had fun, I've succeeded. Thank you very much,
Exactly.
everybody. All right. Well,
Take care,
say
mate.
good night.
See you next time. Good night.
Okay, bye.